Who got what? We're back again. We're
Oh, I
back
forgot.
again.
I wanted
Listen,
to have it on for this live, the first live shot.
Stephen Freeman. I believe that's how you say his name.
Stephen Freeman?
Lex Freeman. Whatever.
Oh, Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lex Friedman. Yeah.
You didn't catch it. Listen, if anybody wants to dub in Warzone, holler at me, okay? I'm your guy, all right? If you want to strap killer, then I am your guy.
You gotta take the mask off to smoke.
Mask off.
Mask on. Fuck it, mask on. Yeah, wear your fucking masks out here nowadays.
It looks so much weirder that you're Asian, though. It does do something, right? It does something to
Yeah,
people.
every cashier I've seen today, I hit the same joke. No, because they have them on too. They're supposed to wear them too. But they I say the same joke to all of them. It's like I just crack a little back and forth. Like, yeah, it takes a little getting used to. I'll just be like, haha, back and forth, blah blah blah. I'm just like, I'm smiling under here. I am. Believe that. I'm smiling.
Oh, what I was just trying to insinuate is that they're wearing it so they don't get it. But I think when people see Asians with it on, they think that they have it.
Yeah, I don't care about it. I wish I didn't have to wear it.
Yeah, that's how I was.
You know?
It's like, that's how I always fuck with the old heads at work. I'm just like, I don't have to worry about it. Even though it could kill me.
Yeah, I know.
Well, every time they're like, you're not wearing a mask. It's like,
you just might be that one guy where it is like, look, you get it, and then you find out you got prostate cancer or some shit. You're just like, shit,
bro.
Fuck.
Either way, you had prostate cancer, though, right?
Either way, you had prostate cancer. But now you have coronavirus with a compromised immune system. You're dying. You're fucking dying. I didn't even go. I always read the Facebook one, yo. I feel like Facebook is like way less important. YouTube's where it's at. You gotta go live on Facebook. Now I gotta put the mask on for the Facebook viewers, bro. Because they ain't what I just said. They ain't hear what I just said. They ain't hear what I just said. I've been making the same jokes. Wearing the mask. Do the one you said. Do the one you said about the Asians. Do that one. Do that one again.
They're wearing
it. Nah, for the fuck the master. Like I don't think it's gonna help. I mean, it's just like, what's it gonna do?
At this point,
I
wonder if I'm just asystematic.
Although Lex Friedman, he did make a good argument for it. You know what I'm saying? He made a solid argument for it. But to me, it seems like all the studies that apparently he cited were ones just done recently because of the coronavirus. How secure of the research could you really make it in such a short time?
And such a small sample size.
To where you could just make such a huge statement being like, look, this helps. I mean,
well,
I guess it's better than nothing.
But he's saying because you don't know if you have it, and it does help you from spreading it.
Yeah, you won't leave cough droplets on the countertop.
That's basically, I guess, what the argument is there.
I get it, man. I hate walking around with one.
Yeah, it's weird, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's weird waiting in line at the grocery store today. I'm just like, this is probably how it would be if, like, we were in a real depression. I'm like, well, we are.
Like I said, man, like, I'm looking around, like, everyone has these masks on. Like, just, like, everyone looks so homogenous and fucking, you see less people.
What does that word mean?
Homogenous?
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Is that what I mean?
Yeah, they're all blending. They're all blending together. It's like I can't tell one person from the next with this bland ass mask. They all have the same kind of like. You don't see happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, what expression can you see from people here, but what their eyes are focused on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
so, like, I go jogging right now. I gotta wear a mask.
No. So the order is in stores, or if you're in any like public place, like if you're in a park or something, you probably should have one. If you have other people there, you probably shouldn't be at a park anyway.
I feel like if that's what you want to do, though, then how come we can't go to a hospital and for $2 I can buy an N95 mask?
I mean, this is doing all of this because you don't want to shut the economy down for a period of time, but like every week we go without a tighter shutdown seems like another step we're getting to.
It's gonna hurt us.
Of just a longer shutdown. You know what I'm saying?
Hurt us worse, bro.
We've only kept extending these type of stay-at-home orders and whatnot. It's only been extended. It's just extending.
I heard them say that we might not see live events till 2021. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And
Yeah.
now you're seeing like China coming out, right, and saying with the Wuhan, in Wuhan, the death toll is double what they've reported.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? That's what I don't understand. Are you saying that you made a miscalculation?
I think a lot of it was China's lying to begin with. That, and I want to say at this point, said Wuhan was on lockdown for, I believe it was 72 days. I mean, you're talking extended periods of time of just just people rushing to try and get the economy back going, people's money circulating. Because the longer we stay shut down, the more money it costs everyone involved, companies, government, people. It's just,
It's weird though, right? Because like if everybody's losing money, you would think that in that case, then we could do a pause, right? That we
Yeah.
could say, look, nobody's paying nobody owes nobody nothing right now,
But
right?
but
We're
you
just pausing it.
but you see what's funny about that is that like we have what's going on in Michigan and what happened in Annapolis today, where people are protesting stay-at-home orders right now because they think it's it's like a violation of their rights or a violation of what they got going on. But
I
like,
have a lot of things on that. Well, number one, right? You're right. Number one, you're looking at a guy like Bill Gates, though, right? Where his net worth is going up.
yes,
Right? His net worth by 3.5 billion 2 days ago, I believe. Right.
well, a lot of his
And then
side companies deal with vaccines.
right,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's the Bill Gates vaccine is like the first one out there right now that they're saying could help against coronavirus. I don't think it's a guarantee.
yeah, because
but it's something
he
that can help.
owned. I think he's a part of Gilead. I think that's the
He's
leading
like the lead fucking
something like that.
pandemic researcher in the world, I believe.
Because that's what came out recently. Was a report was that Gilead, the vaccine, had good showing.
And then you got guys like Eddie Bravo, who's catching heat right now, because he went on Twitter and he's like, is anybody else dealing with the vaccine? I mean, the virus the way that Sweden is, which is like I told you before, like, I
Yeah,
think it's like Sweden, Norway, and somewhere else.
they're not locking down.
They're not locking down.
No.
They're trying to like basically live amongst it, and they're hoping that
herd
creates,
immunity.
herd immunity, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like a word I didn't even know about. I didn't even know that existed, but it does make sense. And everybody's on there saying like, he shouldn't be on there spreading false information and blah blah blah.
I think I brought it up on either the last cast or the one before that about the thing that they were doing where they're not locking down, they're just letting people go with it, and that like the idea was that once enough people catch it, the virus won't be able to spread. It would have nowhere else to spread and multiply since most people have already had it. But there's a lot of people, and they're not sure what it is yet. If it's them not fully getting over the disease or them recontracting it, where people who have tested negative are then testing positive again.
But I did get confirmed because that was one of my bigger questions. If you could get it twice, you can get it twice. You can. You have antibodies, which means you're supposed to be able to fight it better, but you can catch it twice.
You're just gonna be a little better off every time.
Yeah, you're better off to fight it.
Better over time. Yeah.
Like Rogan was talking about one of his friends, where the husband has it, no symptoms, the wife has it, and it's devastating her.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like
I thought that was.
It's gonna hit everyone differently. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna hit every particular individual differently.
Like we know it's not better for the older ones, but it can kill anyone.
It can kill younger people. It can kill infants. And kill all of them.
But it's funny you was talking about Plague Inc. Because I started playing Plague Inc.
Oh, I remember that game.
When this virus first came, and you do learn some things from Plague Inc. Like I didn't know until I was older. Recently playing it. But when I was a kid, I never got why I couldn't win, why I couldn't kill everyone. But when you get older, you realize really a virus doesn't want to be deadly in the beginning stages of it. It wants to be infectious, right? Because if it's killing people, then it don't infect others.
Yeah.
Which is wild, right?
Yeah.
It's like it don't have a brain, but it has a brain. It like knows what it needs to survive. They were talking about some other shit that I had a hard time believing, which was the rat thing. I forget what it's called. It's called like polar information or some shit like that. But it's basically saying that like if a rat learns something on, in Europe, that rats would then know that in America. Because he was like showing a video where like a rat set off a rat trap with a stick.
Gotcha.
It was very weird to see that. And he was saying like if rats learn that, then basically other rats will learn that.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, for something like that to get around. Because like as species die, the ones that survive are the ones that pass on their genes and information on.
Rats are suffering right now.
Oh yeah. Yep. Rats are suffering.
They're probably not suffering. They're probably figuring it out. They're still trying to trash out there, but
Well, I mean, there's gonna be a decline in rat population definitely because of this.
they're
Because
gonna kill each other.
a lot of their main avenues for food are now drying up. As far as people continue to
They
stay
become
home
cannibalistic.
and eat each other. Oh yeah, they already eat each other and other
Yeah,
animals and stuff. Yeah, so
crazy.
they'll find a way. Plus, they'll eat shit or they'll eat dirt. They'll eat
Fuck,
something. They'll be
they'll eat
all right.
anything. They're so infectious. Like, what are they doing for the economy? I don't understand. Like,
Or rats.
Yeah, what do they do in nature's cycle?
So, well, I mean,
What do
they're
they kill?
they're is what I would consider is like they're more so. I mean, they're food for other animals. They're part of the food chain, but they're also bottom feeders. They eat trash. They eat stuff that like other animals don't eat. You know what I'm saying? They. I mean, I don't think they necessarily play a role like.
If they disappear, I think everything's okay.
I think things are okay. Yeah, but the thing with them not being able to disappear is that rats are mainly a byproduct of big cities. You know what I mean? Like these rodents grow into
Yeah.
these sizes. It's the
But-
perfect habitat for them.
But when I did watch, went into my rat killing YouTube hole, I did see that field mice. You know, that's a thing too, where these people show in their barns they make traps and they'll kill 50 rats, bro. There's like a famous trap that people do where like they do a 5-gallon bucket, they do
Yeah.
2 holes in that, and then they put a pole through it and they lube the pole with peanut butter, and the rats keep coming up there, and then the pole flips when they put the weight on there, and they go into a water and eventually drown, basically.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And this one dude was showing you he got like 40 rats, 50 rats, bro. It's
Yeah.
like crazy.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
insane.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with rodents, especially, I mean, they're just good at surviving, but mainly multiplying.
But they're the worst rodent, right? Because technically
Mainly
a
multiplying.
squirrel's a rodent.
Yeah,
But you got no problem living among squirrels.
rats are pretty invasive.
But why do squirrels are just like, I ain't gonna go on your grip? Like squirrels just get it. You know what I mean? And they're just a rat with a big tail.
I would say maybe
Why do
possibly. I don't know, man.
why can't a rat go eat nuts?
Rats. I mean, well, I guess they could, but I guess their ability to forage them is probably less.
Listen,
Yeah,
all I'm
it's
saying
kind
is
of-
don't be mad if I kill you. If you're gonna roll up in my crib, bro. You know what I mean? Like there's other food sources out there.
That's a circle of life, you know. I mean, you kill rodents that come in. I mean, like
I would not honestly, I don't feel no other way about any rodent that you say. Like,
yeah,
there's not another rodent.
rats
you
are a
could say.
different one.
Rats and mice. Like you just do not want them in your crib, bro. You can't. You literally
Yeah.
cannot. It's unsafe to live amongst them.
Yeah. Oh, also, yeah, unhealthy.
Yeah,
Period.
it's
You know, unhealthy. Period, man. Not good for you at all.
No.
There's actually a disease that, like, you know, like if like I forgot where it was reported, but like
Yeah.
someone went and they cleaned up somewhere that was full of rat feces and they inhaled the bacteria through the air of the dried up rat feces pretty much and
Think about this, bro.
died, caught a disease and died.
How much rat feces is
Respiratory
in
failure.
Baltimore City?
Lot.
It's all over the place.
Everywhere.
Everywhere you go, you're probably breathing their rat feces.
Well, it's the confined area. You know, you go outside, you're probably not just breathing rat
But
feces.
listen, what I'm saying is it's probably so much that I bet it does travel.
probably.
Bro,
Yeah.
I would want to say like, am I going 5 billion pieces of rat shit in Baltimore City are on the ground right now, somewhere in Baltimore City.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gotta do something, right? That's all gotta get up there and form somehow.
Well, I mean,
too
like,
much rat shit.
I mean, like rain does a big part of like helping wash everything away. I mean, shit does eventually, you know, move on and you know turn to fertilizer, eaten up by grass and shit in the ground, and that's absorbed, eventually dissipates. All that type of
We
things.
can
do
get rid
happen.
of rats and we can get rid of mosquitoes. The 2 things we can get rid of.
And talk about the biggest disease carriers too, man.
Right.
The biggest disease carriers right there, man.
Right.
Rats, bro. That's the thing. Like I remember, like they were talking about the Black Plague. Like they're just living amongst rats, and they're just like not even sure where they're getting the disease from. They never even once thought it was the rats. You know what I'm saying? They thought it was a bunch of other things.
I also learned a little bit on that though about like they were saying, you know, when people think about the Black Plague, it always go, oh yeah, it come from rats, it come from rats.
Fleas.
It come from rats. It come from fleas, right? But that's not even what I was getting into. Is that it's actually all of it comes from the fact that they were just unsanitary. Period. The entire city, the entire population was unsanitary at the time.
That's
You know what I
true,
mean?
yeah.
They didn't properly dispose of their feces. They
Nope.
didn't properly dispose of their waste. You know, there was all this shit everywhere. And that's what created the Black Plague. You know, and it was unsanitary conditions. That disease itself would have been eradicated basically if they were cleanliness, if there was cleanliness.
Yeah.
Not about eradicated, but you know,
That's-
stricken down.
That's one thing that I think is like when you think of like some of the biggest civilizations or some of the biggest societies throughout history, a lot of the ones that get held up top are like the Romans, the English and all that. But I mean, like they were out here throwing shit out into their sidewalk.
Right, exactly.
I'm saying, but like then we had people like the Aztecs and the Mayans. I mean, they figured out aqueducts and pretty much water sewage systems relatively early on. Like you wouldn't like
figured out, which means get it out of your city.
Yeah,
it wasn't proper. It's still not properly disposed of.
But
how do you properly dispose of it, dude?
But listen. It's not to the point where they weren't dumping shit out where they're fucking having their courts and shit next to their houses.
But listen to me on this. Where can it possibly go? Still to this day, where do we put it? In the ocean, right? Or we refine it?
Well, see, that would be the best place for it if there weren't 7 billion people in the world.
Exactly.
That would literally be a natural thing to happen. It eventually would go in the waterways.
For a billion tops.
Like it's okay if animals, chickens, cows, they shit in the water.
They eat that.
But once you get fucking billions of fucking animals shitting all over everywhere,
right?
You can have 10 million shitting in the water in America if everyone else was fine, not shitting in the water. You'd still be good. There's just so much dilution everywhere. Everyone's putting shit in the water everywhere.
Scary.
Cruise liners, all that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like there was one thing I think with the cruise liners that came out, I think a year or two ago. There's proper disposing sites when you come back on site, but they're just dumping in the water.
I've ran this over with you before. I was telling you about the fines.
Yeah.
Remember?
The fines. Yeah.
The fines are like
covered on the show before. Yeah, I think it was probably like last year then. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Carnival Cruise got hit with it twice.
Yeah.
They got hit with it twice, bro.
Yeah.
For fucking illegally dumping waste and shit, just dumping it into the ocean.
Yeah. And they think they're slick trying to come in here for a bailout.
It's crazy. It's like, what do you do?
For what? Sewage?
What do you do with all this sewage? Like
at this magnitude, it's like asking, what do you do with all this trash? Trash is manageable, but once it's on this scale.
Okay, but listen. This is what we were going to become regardless, right? This is what we were going to become regardless. Right? I mean, we weren't going to kill more people. Maybe we need to kill more people. Maybe let more people die. Maybe
there's too many people.
But there's not. There's not, right? There is, but there's not, right? Because at the end of the day, we can figure it out, right, Steve? We can figure this out.
Trash and sewage?
We can figure anything out. 7 billion isn't 17 billion. You get what I'm saying? 7 billion is crazy, right? But it is a big world. You don't feel like that 7 billion sounds crazy, right? But you don't feel like Baltimore City's overpopulated. You don't feel
that's
like
not a good
right?
example because.
But listen, you don't feel like that though, right?
But if you were living in LA, you probably or New York.
That's my point, though, Steve. Is that there's space though? There is space on Earth for 7 billion people. You know what I mean? We're just populating certain areas so immensely. Bro, you can go to Alaska and you're talking about 100 people. You know what I'm saying?
There's space for 7 billion people. There's not space for all these people to have cars. Not space for all these people to produce trash.
Agreed.
Places, and that's the problems with this amount of humans.
But we can fix that. We can fix that, though. That's something we can fix, right? We can fix the car thing. We can fix that. That's something we can fix, okay? Now, sewage, that's a harder problem than cars, in my opinion.
Trash, too. Trash would be big.
There's some harder problems, right? But we can fix it. Like, that's not crazy. Like, if there's anything where we're saying this could be the doom of humanity, right? And it's caused by us, then we can fix it. Simple as that, right?
Yeah, we could fix it.
Right? It's not a solar flare.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like something we got no control over. We can stop this. Now, let's sit here for a second and really think. What could we do with that sewage, right? Because number one, just with the sewage, right? You want to bury shit, right? Like, that's a good thing, right? That's fertilizer, like we said, right? That's fertilizer. Like, ideally, you would want to land waste shit, right? Not jumping into the ocean.
But, I mean...
How about we do 50-50?
I mean...
Can we do 50-50?
So
half the shit to the ocean. Well, we also refine shit.
So what you would need is a huge land area to then dump that. And you would need to do that unless you want like a shit pipeline somewhere to do a single location. You would need that in most,
every
areas.
State have one.
And then you would need a good sewage system, and then pump it to that one hole.
You do.
And then, like I said, you would need enough area because then the ground can get contaminated.
You're absolutely right, right? And I like what you're doing right there. But all I'm going to say on that is that we don't want to talk about things, right? Like this is what you would need to get this done, right?
Yeah.
Because we know it's going to be immense. We already know whatever it is. We need a good sewage system. We need a great sewage system, right? We know it's going to be hard, right? Yeah. But just straight up trying to find how can we do it because it can still be done. That can still be done. We need a great sewage system. Okay.
I mean, that's a great simple answer. But I mean, as far as the whole, I don't think the whole works. Just with the amount of sewage we have.
So
you contaminate groundwater sources.
So it has to go to the water.
I don't think it has to go to the ocean. We need some type of so septic tanks.
What about this? What about a big ass fucking thing, bro? Just so fucking huge, right? That all our shit goes to, right? All our shit and piss goes to, and then it incinerates it. Could we heat that up high enough to just evaporate the shit and piss?
I feel you could, but you have a lot of it's just a lot of shit and piss.
What?
You know, and then the real problem is like,
and we run that off of nuclear fusion.
Not just shit and piss goes down toilets into these systems, like where people are like dumping other shit into there, where it's like people are pouring medications in there and shit. And
An underground bunker that we incinerate everything that goes to.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
We're just going crazy at this point.
Okay, well, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, so you incinerate this.
How they are.
Could the steam from that then just fucking poison me if I inhale that shit? Like,
that's why I said underground.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I have no idea, man.
Try to make it all remote control.
The one thing I'm thinking was like,
that's what I'm saying.
Look, listen. I got you.
Go ahead.
Septic tanks. So what septic tanks do when houses are too far off the grid, like most areas, they get a septic tank.
I got you.
And with septic tanks, they're usually treated or have some type of chemical with it, where over time the fresh water and all the bad shit sinks to the bottom and the fresh water separates. Couldn't we just do that on a huge scale?
We do. We do that. I told you I've worked in water treatment
spots
before. I've worked in a water treatment spot.
We're still dumping in the ocean.
Water treatment spot, right? But I've literally did work at a Maryland water treatment facility, where it's 6-7 of these huge ass containers that they're refining sewage water with. They are doing that. That is the thing.
Just need to expand that. You got a good thing going on.
How immense can we go, right?
You expand that and R&D that. I mean, I feel like we can go pretty big with that. You know what I mean? Something we need. Let's make the fucking land area for it, man. I don't fucking know. This is, if it's that something we need, it's just like I could start dumping in the ocean. I mean, look at the bay. There's like 65% feces or some shit like that where they tested it. And it was like stupid high for fecal matter in that bitch, man.
I feel like that's how they are right now. They're just like, we really don't know what to do with all this shit. So we're just doing what we've been doing.
We still got wood pipes, bro. Whatever the fuck that means. You still got shit going through these wood pipes.
That's unfeasible, man. That's like shit.
What are wood pipes? It's like you make wood pipes, man. Like, seems hard to make wood pipes. You got a wood turn, hella wood pipes, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's a very difficult one to think. And let's also think about it. Maybe they already have put the thought into it.
Listen.
And they're like, look,
this is
really what we had to do.
No, you know what just hit me?
What's up? What you got? Preach.
What you're doing right here is making the argument for a big argument we once had, right? Well, I guess I can't say that about you, right? But let's just open it up, right? Is the fact that really the argument I'm making here is the need for what? AI robots. Right? Because then we could do some dangerous shit where you don't worry about the steam, right? You're underground.
Just have them with robots.
100 feet. You got robots down there. They're operating the shit plant that's incinerating everything that comes down there. Yeah. And we just replace them as we need be. Yeah. We need robots. That's what we need. That's what I was saying before. Like, you want them to do the jobs that humans don't want to do. If we got to go blow up shit. If we got to blow up a comet, wouldn't you much rather send 6 AI robots? You know what I mean? Than 6 people? That's a hard decision. 6 people. 6 AI robots. They don't care.
So you say that, but it's like, I got 6 people lined up ready to do this. Like,
listen, all of them are mistake punch. My AI robots, Elon's talking to him. He's just like, my AI robots, 99% effective.
So one thing.
Your humans, 40% chance.
So when it comes to, but who programs these robots? 4% mistake-prone humans.
We don't want to. We make a robot to program the robots.
Who programs them? There's just so.
Well, that's the thing.
So
like, when you get that far in AI, how far are you, right? Because that's a good question, right?
There's always a human input somewhere.
Listen. So let's say I want to create an AI robot that fact checks what I do, right? That's the first robot I check. It just fact checks to see if what I'm doing makes sense, basically, right? It just does tons of research and says, is this logical or not, right? And then now I AI robots, and I want that thing to check my AI robot invention. Is that thing biased, right? Because you could also you could almost make the argument that it's now biased for the AI robot. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying right there?
I get you. But in turn, I remember like one thing that like Lex has brought up, and I remember one thing I think
you on a first name basis?
Huh? Lex, yeah, Lex Friedman. One thing I've heard of a lot of people who talk AI, what they say is that when it comes to AI learning, AI tends to pick up and is inherently with our human bias, since we are its creators. It already inherently is programmed and created
to every sci-fi
with a
movie
human
ever.
bias.
Okay, the contrary on all the sci-fi movies are that they're biased towards you. So I don't know where I get that from. I'm getting my stuff from Hollywood.
Hollywood kid.
Let's get into Hollywood. The Mansons.
I was even Hollywood.
Because they killed a Hollywood director.
It turned into Hollywood.
They killed a Hollywood director.
So
it's the most famous Hollywood murder ever, bro.
And this is where listen. Like when I listened to what the author of that book was saying about that what?
Well, just when I was doing the number one thing I think we're both gonna agree is that he has some money problems.
He does have some money problems, bro. I think he also has an addiction because he went 20 years.
Something don't make sense.
20 years.
I was just like, I got this money and I owed this person. I got some more money and I already owed people. Then I owed people $6 million. So when I got the events from them, I then owed someone else, so I couldn't even pay that loan. It's just like, he's like, I'm not good with deadlines.
I mean, it took him 20 years, bro.
I don't think he's making money.
Say it took him 20 years.
That's crazy.
It was like 20 years for this book, man. Which, I mean, like, it's funny because, like, what he kept saying was that, like, it's like he would drop some crazy fact. He'd be like, see, this is why this took 20 years. I'm just uncovering all this shit. But to what I was originally getting at. So what we're referring to in particular is dude Tom O'Neill, who was on Joe Rogan's podcast about his book, Chaos, which is all about the Manson family and shady shit that happened in the 60s.
You can't say buy his book if you don't own it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They didn't even know what we're talking about to begin with anyway. But whatever. So.
I don't even know the name of the book.
It's called Chaos.
It's just funny that you knew it, but you also used it to sell it.
Oh, he was. No, I didn't do that. I said we were talking about Joe Rogan and the dude Tom
Buy
O'Neill.
this book Chaos.
No. I said. Joe Rogan had the author of Tom O'Neill of the book called Chaos, whatever. Yeah, I said like that. I didn't say buy his book. No, I didn't say buy his book, buy it, whatever. I don't care.
Oh man.
I was just telling him what I was referencing to what we're talking about. So with the whole Joe Rogan, so what he was saying when he was linking was just fucking. I mean, like, yeah, everyone knew they were lying about, like, MK Ultra or whatever. Whatever this was going on with that, but the fact that, like, all of these connections of, like, all these people who played the role into what he was digging into and their connections and him connecting those to Charles Manson himself. It was just like, it was all crazy. This CIA dude also was like a physiotherapist, and like he originally saw Manson, but he denied it from the jump. Like, there was just so much to cover.
Any of this, right? Man. Can we go over one thing that I noticed during this cast, right? During that cast.
Speculation.
Is that no, this is truth. Everyone who comes on there
joking about that.
With a new book, right? They always have a hard time answering all of Joe's questions because they want to give away the book they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
But they also are trying to do this to get the book out there. So they want to say, he's like there was one point where he was like, at the end of the book, he gives me some off the record information that I was allowed to share, basically, and he doesn't want to say it. And then Joe's like, "What did it say?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah, I was looking at that. He was just like, yeah, I remember he said it. He was like, we were actually gonna get to this. Like, it's in a little section at the end of the book, and I was gonna get to it a little later.
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
and I was like that type of style.
They're so nervous. They're always so nervous on there because they're like, millions of people are going to hear this and they want to lay it out. They want to come out right. And I've seen plenty of times where like the podcast wasn't going the right direction.
Yeah.
And they're like panicking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, this isn't really how I see this happening, And I remember like one time the guy was like literally like, ask me about the book, or something like that. Like,
yeah, I do remember that. Where it's like, yeah, I do remember that, bro.
He was like, ask me something about the book.
I forgot what he brought up. Yeah, but he was just like, yeah, just ask me something about. Yeah, I remember that part. But it was weird.
Yeah.
But I'm also sitting there, I'm just like, this guy's also sitting there talking about he's strapped for cash, shit like that. He's just like, look, man, I just need people to buy this goddamn fucking book right now, basically. Man.
He owed everybody and their mom.
Yeah, like his whole, I don't know, man. It was like he seemed like he gave like up an awful lot for me to never hear about his book.
Right. My favorite part is when
I hate to say it to you, Mr. Talmadeo, man. I want to say about the 2-hour mark was about up to where I got.
I don't know, the marks, but there was the one time when he was talking about Amazon Prime, and he's like, Joe, do you know anyone in Amazon Prime? And you talk to him for me, and Joe was like, I don't know anyone, and why would they listen to me? That shit was so funny. But on the topic is that basically this man, Tom O'Neill, has proven that Charles Manson was 100% working for the CIA. He was working for the government. The government basically gave him a scapegoat pass until he committed literally murder, and they still tried to pass that, but he got proven on it. And he exposes a bunch of lies throughout the testimony of Charles Manson and all these people that lied on trial about him. And they proved that they were lies, basically. But basically, since Charles Manson's already gone, he's dead, right? Charles Manson died, right?
He did die.
Yeah, and all these people are already gone, that people have given up on it. But multiple people lied on the stand that day, saying different things. Like, there's a huge part of it about how, Charles wasn't even present of the time of the plan making, basically. It was just something he ordered. He didn't even make the plan, but people lied on the testimony, basically saying that he was the one that was involved in that.
He even proved that there were plants. There were plants on I believe it was his side, or it was either the state or the defense. No, it was their defensive side. There was like a plant, like he said they were working together pretty much. I forgot what part that was. Yeah, it was I think the prosecutors planted someone in his defense or something to try and just get all the extra information or some shit like that, like what they're trying to do or some shit. I don't know, man. I have no idea. I can't remember the exact. Oh fuck! That was the one thing I wanted to bring up. I can't remember the exact details. You remember that?
What are you talking about? Right by me.
In the trial, I can't remember whose side it was. He proved that someone from Charles? Tom O'Neill. He proved that someone from the opposing side, either to Manson or to the state, had a plant or had a person planted, working in the other side to be their ear on the other side.
Was his parole officer?
I can't. No, it was in his defense team or on the state prosecuting team.
Hold on, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I can't remember what. Oh, man, my bad. Yeah, that fucking sucks. That was the one thing. But the MK Ultra thing was like the mind control program that the CIA did, and also links their testing with LSD in the early 60s as far as I wouldn't say necessarily like a mind control thing, but for someone to be put under kind of like in like a hypnotic state to where they could commit something, pretty much sleeper agents, where they could commit a crime, and once they did that crime, they would immediately like not remember anything that was happening. Hey, this guy Kendall Berryman's back. Shout out boy Kendall, bro. But anyway, yeah, it was pretty much their. I lost my train of thought with Kendall Berryman, but yeah, they were the LSD program pretty much was just creating sleeper agents, and they were experimenting with that, and they were setting up the brothels. They They were setting up. What else were they using? It was brothels.
I mean, it goes on
Casinos
and on.
or
I don't want
something?
to give an entire recap. Someone should go watch the Joe Rogan Tom O'Neill
Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
to really get into it. But I also like on the opposite contrary side, the fact that they were making agents seem more like hippies, right? Because that was the whole point of this, right? Is that Charles looked like a hippie. He was part of the hippie culture. He was a hippie social icon, right?
right.
So they wanted a hippie to commit a crime so that America would look at basically these people like they were evil. That was the whole purpose of that, right? It was the whole purpose of trying to get a sleeper agent was so they could get a hippie to do something, which is what they did. You know, they ended up doing that. And they even said that, like, well, O'Neill's making the argument basically like the whole Helter Skelter thing isn't even real. Like, that's just part of the defense team, or the prosecution team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Putting because they need a motive. They
Right.
need a motive,
Yeah.
right? So they're trying to put a motive on him, and that's how they got him. I remember when I was a little kid, man. I remember Chas broke down Charles Manson to me. You know, I didn't even really understand it, but she gave me the basis, and you know, we're going over it, and she's like, you know, I'm just like, oh, so he's in jail, he got in jail. She's like, you know, but why is he in jail? You know, what's he in jail for, basically, right? Is that a crime, right? Let's talk about that, right? So I tell you right now, I say, go kill Bray, and you kill Bray. Am I guilty of something?
I mean, I would say, oh man, you kind of want to say yeah, you know.
What am I guilty of?
You know what I'm saying? Murder. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
If
it's
I'm
like,
guilty of murder, then why can't you sue a vaccine company?
like
You know what I mean?
like you call. That's like you call a hit. Like
Did I didn't pay you. You don't work for me. I just told you.
you called a hit.
I just told you go kill someone, and you did it.
Yeah, you ordered a hit. You're a shot caller.
Well, what's my charge?
Accessory to murder. You played a role, a vital role. You planted the idea.
How long do I get?
I'll give you 10, 15.
What about if, like, the story was right? You
Just shooting shit off the top of my head. It's like, speed round.
Like,
Speed round. Cut your dick off.
what if the story was right? You came over here, you're just like, bro, I hate this bitch, bro. I really think I'm gonna kill this bitch. I'm just like, yeah, kill her, and then you do it. Does that change anything?
Do you think it's comparable as a comparison to say someone comes over like, hey, bro, I'm gonna kill myself? You're like, yeah, bro, kill yourself. You think that's a comparable? You think that's a good comparison?
I don't think that. I think that's a good comparison. That's a great comparison. It's the same thing. But to me, there's still no charge.
Charge on that. There's no charge on that.
No. There's no charge on that, bro. At the end of the day, I don't control what people do. I feel like the only time that should be a charge is if I bribed you, right? Or if I did something, I offered you something, I paid you in exchange, right? That was the big thing about
Well, but coercion would also play a huge role in that, you know?
well, that was a big thing about the Carol Baskin, right? The Tiger King thing, right? He wanted Carol Baskin dead. So the agents brought a fake, hitman to him and said for, $5,000, I'll do this basically, right? He agreed. Right? The Tiger King agreed. He never got that charge because he never exchanged money.
Okay.
He never gave the guy $1. They said if he'd have pulled out a $5 bill and gave it to him, they could have got him on
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But there's never nothing exchanged. I didn't give you nothing to do that. For me,
I mean, it depends how the law works, you know. Yeah, I guess the law defines
the only
it.
time I would say that could be verified was like if you were a minor, right? I could then see that being a crime, where you're 16 and I convince you to do something like that. I could see that. But once you're an adult, you're a verified adult and under state and federal law, I don't think me telling you something should get me implemented in something.
But when we look at particular things like this, we have a person who could be on the smarter side and a person who could be on the dumber side. Exposing the exact weakness through coercion in order to kill somebody. It just seems a little iffy for me. Maybe that's how the law works, but it seems iffy for me.
Let me give you this, right? You're my girlfriend's little brother, right?
All right.
We're at a party and you're there.
Okay.
I'm talking to some people in front of you, right? And I'm talking to a guy and I'm like, yeah, man, I think that we can easily rob shoppers, man. I think we can rob shoppers if the guard never there. He don't pay attention. He goes to sleep back there, blah, 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 right? We never do nothing, me and you, right? Well, you're the little brother. Right. So me and this guy never do nothing, right? You get someone else. You get one of your friends to go rob shoppers, right?
Yeah.
And you guys rob
Yeah.
shoppers.
Yeah.
Do I have anything to do with that?
No, direct coercion. You know, let's say I tell
So
you.
if I
Listen,
turned
hold
to
up.
you and was like, you
This-
probably do that.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I'm guilty.
No. I think if you talk someone over the edge type of deal, where it's like, you know, you're just like, look, man, you go to him, you're like, look, man, you can rob this bank, you know, or like you could rob this bank easily, you could rob that guy easily.
But before you,
He's
were
like,
saying-
nah,
when I told
nah.
you, kill Brett. Like I didn't have to talk you over the edge on that one, and you said that was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'll go further and say the coercion, like
Okay.
it's like most crimes, you will look at the intent, you know, behind certain things. You know, if you're coercing someone into committing a crime, I think you play just as much a role in it as the person committing it. You would get a lesser charge, I think, you know, because I mean, like the guy who held up the store with the gun, of course, gets the higher charge. You know what I'm saying? But like, you still played a role in it. But if you're just like, look, man, go rob that store, and he does it, I'll go far to say is that no. But if you're sitting here just like, look, man, you could easily rob that store. You go in there, you got a gun, tell him do this, do that, man, you got it, no problem. And he's just like, I don't know, man. You're like, look, bro, you're good. Go rob that store. You know?
I bet I could change that easily, right? I bet I could change that so easily for you, right? Same situation you just said, right? I'm 20 years old and you're 45, and I tell you that.
And he goes
I'm
and does
still
it.
guilty.
Same thing, just to a 45-year-old from a younger individual. Yeah,
I'm 15.
Yeah, I think it comes down
I'm
to
15 years old. You're 45.
Why would age play a matter into it? You know what I'm saying?
I'm a 15-year-old kid, and I just talked you into doing an armed robbery.
Bro, 45, dumb, 15, smart as fuck. We've seen kids.
I'm not even a grown man.
Crazy shit, bro.
I'm not even a grown man, bro. I talked you into doing an armed robbery.
Like I said, bro, we would have to talk about the facts, though.
I just don't
this
see the
15-year-old diabolical mastermind manipulated this 45-year-old man.
I don't care.
I'm sitting there, I'm just like,
for me, if I'm on a juror, like you guys might will not even waste your time on that one for me. Because
I'll do what you love.
I'll never convict that guy.
That kid would love a jury like you.
Yeah, for sure. Because I like to think about like I've always said, I think Charles should be free. I really do. When you look at it, like I believe that Charles is a bad guy. I believe that, well, he's dead now, but you get what I'm saying. I believe he's a bad guy. I believe like he definitely should be in jail and everything, right? But at the end of the day, you have to look at the facts of the case, and they didn't have enough at the time to really send him away for life. Like, that's crazy.
He was due out when he died, I believe.
I didn't know he previously did 7 years.
Neither did I, but he was like gonna be released soon before he died.
He spent half his life in prison before he got arrested for life.
Yeah,
you know that? It's crazy, isn't it? He's already a petty criminal.
But wasn't anything crazy though, you know, right?
But even if you ask like his psychologist, they go, you know, O'Neill was saying it. You know, he's like, the guy said, "Do you think Charles believed what he was saying?" He's like, "I don't think Charles believed what he was saying, but he knows what he was doing to make other people believe that." You know, he's saying he's a master manipulator. And is there a law that could be prosecuted on that? Yeah, but I don't think it's a murder. I don't think you should get murder, bro. At the end of the day, what someone does is what someone does. If that person's an adult, I just don't see that.
I just think there's a lot of power to come from, you know, people like that. You know what I'm saying? And just like, and I mean that's their very plan is to, you know, find someone.
Seems like a scapegoat.
Let's not say it's Manson particularly, you know, because I don't even know the full briefings of his whole case. But when it comes to someone like that, you know, I'm not even going to speak on Manson, like I said, but a master manipulator, kind of like a mastermind who kind of like sees everything going, talks it, but never pulls the trigger. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, the cogs don't turn without the, you know, the motor. You know what I'm saying? This is the motor drive. This is the driving force.
I don't know if you know, but that's why Giuliani, I believe it is, who did it, invented the racketeering charge. You know, because these mob bosses, they would never touch anything. They just would tell people to do things, and they would do it, and they could never get them on anything, basically. That's why, you know,
that's one thing I was thinking about, yeah.
Like Al Capone, he went away on, you know, tax evasion. They couldn't get him on murder.
Just getting on whatever he could.
They get him on that. You know? So they invented racketeering, which basically means accessory to. That's really what it means.
Yeah.
You know, that you worked in a congestion.
Well, that sparked a random thought. How about, did you see the Capone trailer?
I did not see the trailer. I seen a picture.
with Hardy. That'd be
Everybody
cool.
was saying he don't look like him.
He probably doesn't, man. You know, but I mean, I think it's pretty.
It's funny that Tom Hardy's so good that no one cares. Everybody's just like, I don't care what he looks like. It's Tom Hardy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't care if the person ever looks exactly like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you play a good role?
Not exactly.
You know, a
right?
good
but
actor.
Like, when I seen like his hair was gray, you know. So it's like I don't know what's up with that. He has slick back hair. He didn't have missing parts. Like
one thing I was like,
you have real pictures of Capone.
One thing I was with his lips, bro, and how he's holding that cigar. I'm just like, bro, man, Hardy just knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah,
I trust Hardy.
I agree.
I trust Hardy.
I agree.
Who's gonna play Capone? And you know, for some people, I might get him. For me, it's not gonna be a big deal. I'm just like, bro, Hardy's going to play a good Capone. That's all I know.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb right now and tell you who I think will play a good Capone, bro. And this is not going to be agreed upon by anyone.
Yeah.
Jack Black. I bet Jack Black would be a great fucking Al Capone, bro. People take him as a joke, yo. But he can act. He knows how to act, you know what I mean? He would fit that role. He got the perfect body build. He gets the slick back black hair, bro. I'm going to go out on a limb on that one. That's my sleeper pick for Al Capone.
Yeah, I mean, he has the energy you can definitely pull out, you know, from within inside of him. You know,
it sucks when you get labeled in that category, right?
Yeah, but I think he also particularly enjoys that as well. That's like that is who Jack Black is. You know what I'm saying?
You know, he streams games now.
Yeah.
He streams Red Dead.
He has a YouTube channel too.
Funny.
He has a YouTube channel, bro.
Yeah.
He puts up all his YouTube videos on that shit.
Red Dead and shit.
Yeah, he's just doing what he loves, bro, man. I like him. Like when Jack Black came out, he was part of like Tenacious D. I'm like, is this just a movie or a real band? And it was both. This is like a real movie and a band.
I didn't know they were a band.
Yeah, Tenacious D, they toured.
Jack
together.
Black?
Yeah, Jack Black. Yeah, Jack Black. Do you remember the movie Tenacious D?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a real band they had with that guy. That's other guy. They have real music. They wrote the soundtrack, I'm pretty sure, for that movie.
When I think of Jack Black and music, I think of School Rock.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Bro, that's my fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
That last scene still sends shivers down my spine, you know, when they're like, you know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. They're just opening up.
It's funny how movies will get you like that. Well, what movies would you say are up there like do that to you? That's one of them. That just give you like a real feeling in your body.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a I'm trying to think of like there's been a couple. I mean, we've talked about before. There's a couple ones that are like sad and like they get you.
Yeah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ones that just make you feel something. Like
like the shivers or
like I know we talked about Black Hawk Down before. Like that's one for me that makes me feel like that. It gives me.
Lone Survivor was one.
Yeah, Lone Survivor is a good one.
That was one.
But if you want to talk about like honestly, my number one all time, bro, is Friday Night Lights. You've seen that?
Yeah.
The whole entire story. It's a true story, you know. And the whole entire way, the way they lay out the story, bro, and that last fucking play, it comes down to a state championship.
I remember
4th and 1, yo, they're right there on the goal line. And it's just like he's doing everything he can to make a play, yo. He goes left, right, he dodges a guy, breaks a tackle, pump fake, like he's running, he's going and going, like all the people tackle him. He's like,
I remember I was
on the one.
I remember I was 12 and I was like, one thing I asked for was Friday Night Lights on DVD. I was like, I want Friday Night Lights on DVD.
That's one that made me cry.
Yeah, it was like
it's crazy, yo. Videos give me like such an emotion, yo. I always say like I got a lot of empathy, but I really don't know what it is. But like I can just get super emotional on that. Like the other day, bro, I broke down crying on that active self-protection video, yo.
Yeah.
It was one at Metro PCS.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but the guy comes right in. He's got a mask on. He puts a gun right to the lady's head. He's like, give me all the fucking money. The owner got a gun on him. He pulls a gun out right away, and they just get into a firefight of like over the desk, basically shooting at each other and shit. And the whole time, the lady's just laying on the ground, like with her head on top.
Yeah.
He ends up shooting this guy a bunch of times. The guy runs out, and like he just comes over and he's just like holding the lady, you know, like she's just hysterical, yo. That shit made me cry so hard, bro. Just thinking about like, oh my god, what that lady just went through. Like she might have kids, yo. And like this guy's shooting. 2 people are shooting right over her head. She just got her head down, hoping when she lifts up that she's alive. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah.
And that guy, like for that guy to come over and like hold her like that, like it was just like a special moment of being like, you know, they're not lovers, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just employees. That's all it is. And he's just like, are you okay? Like I knew that was traumatic.
There was one recently I watched, like I remember the time it wasn't a movie, but it was a video. It was this guy. He went viral for it because he caught a famous picture of this gunman getting ready to enter in this newspaper agency. And he was a journalist there. and there's a video like a like CCTV like video recording over top of him. And when he saw like you see the guy, he's just in the corner, like hiding around the corner from the doorway, just like you could just see that he's just terrified, just please don't head to that corner, just light me up in this corner. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know,
Makes you think of war
like,
journalism.
Yeah, man.
Right? You're just like sitting there.
That one guy on Vice is really good when you follow him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He did one recently that they released a while ago from like Syria that was really good, where he's just like he's chilling down the side of the street and it's like, yeah, we gotta run across the street where that guy like just got shot and it pans over and they're like dragging this guy out the street and it's like, yeah, we gotta go across there. I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy doing, man?
I at least want a pistol.
Like, what is if anything, the bulletproof vest with press written on it is gonna get you fucking shot quicker.
Right, but you know you're not supposed to kill them under military law.
Yeah, you're not.
I never knew that about medics too. You know that?
Yeah,
you're not supposed to shoot medics, but people do.
Yeah, the Geneva Convention. You're not supposed to execute people. Like if you shoot someone and they're on the ground crawling away, you're not supposed to execute.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, like you're not. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you shoot somebody.
I don't agree with any of them, but I don't agree with any of them.
I think they're kind of cool just because they come from a time like World War II and World War I, where we're just like, do whatever the fuck you want. And then like after that, they were like, look, literally millions of people died in this war. we gotta have some rules. It's like I just think it's cool in a sense of like the idea of it being generated from something like that, and then people came together and were like, look, yeah, that was pretty fucked up. We should probably come to an agreement on this shit. So like the idea of what they made,
like, don't come to war with me if you want rules, right? Because I don't want war. So if we're at war, don't lay down ground rules with me. I'll do any and everything. I'll shoot your medics first. I'll execute every person possible. I'll execute the ones that are about to die in 2 seconds. I'll still shoot them. You know what I mean? I'll use chemical warfare. I'll use my nukes if I have to. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear laws in war because I don't want war. So if we're having war, it's me versus you. We're fighting to the death. It's about dying. Never. There's no rules. There's no rules. I don't want your medics healing.
No, I feel you, bro.
I don't want you crawling away.
And I get you on all that, bro. I get you on all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's crazy that like at any point in human history we decided to make up. Like I think about it's kind of like in like both sides are also kind of like in our core. To win out by all means, but also to do it in an honorable way, in a sense.
There's a story like that. Before World War II. I believe it was America and Germany. I want to say it was. They were both in their trenches, and they're battling it out for days in these trenches. And the whole time, there's a 20-pack of wolves, a family basically of wolves that are killing people at night. They're killing multiple soldiers, 5, 6 soldiers on each side. So they both call it truce of fighting. They're 100 yards away from each other. They both call it truce of
fighting. No man's zone, training for warfare. Yeah.
They kill the wolves. And then they get back to fighting.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying with that. But for me, I would say let's kill the wolves. And when you go to kill the wolves, I will then launch a sneak attack. And I will attack you in your trenches. And I will win this war.
So like there's like I said, both sides are inhumans. Both of those sides, the honorable and the dishonorable, whatever you want to say.
Why is that dishonorable?
By all means,
why is that dishonorable?
But the very definition honorable.
Why is what I'm saying dishonorable?
By the very definition of it. I mean,
right? Honorable is like caring about your family, right? Getting home, right? Taking care of the people you love, right? Getting your
listen,
getting your brother's home, right?
Well, like, that's the thing. You like this is what I'm saying. When let's go back to the old days. You're back then, an honorable warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing is like. I didn't I didn't just like disarm you and then stab you in the chest. Just like I picked up your sword, get it back to you. Like that. This is the honor code. This is something that's humans that we've created.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I think you're wrong. I think you're talking about literally one branch of that type of warfare, which would be samurai, which is people that got murdered.
Samurai?
That's the only people with that type of etiquette, bro. That's it, dog. Other than that, if a
samurai wouldn't do that.
Yeah, a samurai, yes, they did, bro.
They wouldn't pick up your sword.
No, samurai law, they wouldn't kill you if your sword was down. You get what I'm saying? Like they had, if they lost a battle, they would commit suicide. You get what I'm saying? They had that type of etiquette. If a samurai,
No, we're not talking. Like, you're talking etiquette. We're talking like the definitions of like let's talk about like ancient Rome. Like you were like to be an honorable warrior. Like you trained hard. You good. You went to war. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. You know what I'm saying? Like you were there was an honor code to have like being like a warrior type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying. What I'm saying is,
and we've always had that.
What I'm saying is right. That's always been there, right? The honorable one is the one that comes home. That's what I'm saying. I don't know nothing about war. I've never been there, and I don't know how a soldier feels. But I feel like if we had a soldier on here or a veteran on here, they would get what I'm saying. And I don't know nothing about it, and I could be wrong, right?
And I think they would.
To the fact of your mom and your dad are sending you out there to defend the country, right? You have children, you have a wife, and they all want you home. None of them want to lose you because you were honorable, right? But the honorable thing is to get home.
Listen.
That's the honorable thing.
Listen. But listen, no, this is what I'm talking about. Honorable thing. You're held down with your squad. You have a chance to get away, but you stay and fight with your squad. Honorable thing. You stayed and you fought with your squad. That type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, there's that self-preservation. There's that thing, but that's the honorable thing to do. You stay and fight with your squad.
Honorable.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's those, but listen, there's those codes, there's those laws that we've written and that we've seen as that type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's completely different, Steve. You're talking about your own squad at that point.
That
has nothing to do with nothing. If you're talking about me not shooting a medic, that's a different kind of honor than you saying me staying with my squad.
I think some might agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Some might agree to be like, look, I mean, like I said, like rules of engagement. You don't just like you wait to be fired upon type of the deal. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that would be like the rules. Like that's the you have rules out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go willy nilly. You can't just like if you go out there, you start as and as America as a First Nation country, you get held to a different standard. You go start killing medics.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say
ISIS starts killing medics. I mean, that's what ISIS does.
But if you're thinking about any small country,
no, ISIS doesn't get hit with war crimes.
You're fucking Venezuela. Do I have time for rules if me and America's fighting against each other?
Oh no. And I get you. You're thinking about I know we're gonna win. I get you. Win at all cost type of deal. I get it. You know, I understand it.
You're not care, bro. I'm just trying to go home.
And I get it, man. I get it too, man. I'm not trying to argue for honor, but I'm saying like I see like I'm trying like I understand like people coming together and just being like, look, man, seen some fucked up shit. That mustard gas shit, that's fucking terrible. Should
have invested in chemical warfare.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Your medics,
I get it.
Your medics should carry guns. Your medic shouldn't have been a medic. What else? What else we got? No kids? You should have brought kids to the war. What is it? What is it, bro? I don't want war. If we're gonna go to war, I want you to know I don't do rules. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I get you. I get it.
Hey, and yeah, if you're First Nation, whatever, bro. If I'm America, I'll do the same way. And I guarantee you I don't guarantee you, that's wrong to say, right? But I would guess that on the battlefield, those rules don't apply. You get what I'm saying? They're laid out because etiquette. That's why I use that word.
Well, we also haven't fought
I'll shoot your medic in the
head. Listen. We also haven't fought like a first world, war in a long time. Every war waged in the recent years have been against another, third world country or
we bomb hospitals.
Yeah.
That's why I like whatever like the culture sites. I never thought about that, bro. It's kind of implies the Civ. It's kind of it's crazy how it implies the Civ, but like you never thought about it. When Trump was like, "We're launched 52 strikes against
Iran's cultural sites and stuff." Yeah.
Well, no, he said 52 strikes, right? And then the reporter asked, "Would culture sites be involved in them?" And he said they're not excluded or something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
I never thought about attacking people's culture sites. You know? Like that is a demoralizing factor, right? Someone blows up our Statue of Liberty, right? It is kind of a thing.
See, I don't think that's as bad as like we bomb like Petra or we bomb fucking the pyramids in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And like in cultural sites, when you talk about stuff like that in Iran, that's what you're talking about. Shit that's like 3,000 years old and shit. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's like blow up the Statue of Liberty or whatever. It's like, well, it doesn't hit me the same. But for me, I feel when I'm like, if I'm sitting there, I'm just like watching the pyramids go up. I feel that. I'm like, I'm not even Egyptian. I'm just like, man, you blew up the pyramids.
This is one of the things where I'm trying to demoralize I'm not demoralize. I'm trying to devalue.
Yeah.
Your country.
Well,
That's
I
all
mean,
I'm trying to do. So
well,
you
hey,
got one less thing.
I hate to say it though,
You're
but I
not
mean, like,
generating faith no more, bro.
but like when it comes to America, you know, I mean, like in the way they use their forces, you know, and how they conduct themselves. I mean, like as far as they're concerned, their boots on the ground are what do they call it? Refillable. They're expendable, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, it's like boots are gonna work. All right, you know, whatever we'll pull out, we just drop a bunch of missiles then. But you know, like we're always gonna send people. And we don't. They don't care. The government doesn't care.
Soldiers.
They love. Yeah, they love to act like they care, but at the end of the day, to the government and to the armed forces, you are expendable as a veteran.
I used to always think that I was like, why do we fight anybody with boots on the ground? Like when I was younger, I used to always think like we have such an advanced military. How come we just don't bomb them to death? But then I learned that you can't win a war without boots on the ground. Like eventually you have to overtake territory.
Yeah.
You know, to get people to stop coming there, you know. So you do have to occupy the territory you take.
Exactly. For extended periods of time, you know.
And that's where your laws come into play. Because really, if we wanted to, right, we could just bomb Taliban all day. We do, but we could do it 10 times if we wanted to. We could just drop cluster bombs on cities, right? And not worry about it if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
It could get bad.
Yeah. It could get really
But the problem with that, right?
the baddest.
The problem with that is the problem when you're fighting ISIS is you're not fighting a country, right? You're just fighting like this random force.
You're fighting like an ideology.
Yeah,
you're fighting.
So you can't like target the president or something. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
you're
you
like,
can't.
What the fuck? Like, you're fighting within here, and then I gotta make an agreement with these people to be able to fight you because you might come to my country and fight me.
And the one thing I think is crazy, I'm just like, ISIS was out here really taking countries' territory.
Yeah.
They were just coming and being like, look, this is ours.
Bro.
I'm just like.
They had Aleppo. You know what I mean? Like, they had Aleppo, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, they had cities. They were taking cities from Iran. They were taking cities from fucking Syria. Like,
I don't know all the information, but like from what I understand is like Aleppo though is like in the middle of Syria. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they were deep in Syria, bro.
They're just in the middle of your country and take apart.
Because like Damascus, like the capital was like all the way like on the far like eastern part. They were like had like most of the damn country, you know, like to where Syria was only Damascus at this point.
Right.
That's it. That's all it was.
So fun. But then you see these things like they were horrible. But then you see like the thing that was getting shared with like the cartel. They handed out like coronavirus packages basically.
Oh, the cartel did?
Yeah, and everybody's sharing it. I'm just like. The president just gave you $1,200. You know what I mean? Like they all do shit.
That's how the cartel, you know, stays loving those regions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're still better than ISIS, it seems, right?
Yeah,
Nobody had love for ISIS.
Yeah. And like
I thought ISIS was on salary. You know, that's my favorite thing.
Did you get a paycheck?
It was Leo. It's like literally like if your first year you get like $600 a week or something like that. I forget what it was, but like literally have like salary set out. Like,
I'm sure when you get there, it's like, look, just go whatever kill you.
They're really just the most advanced gang ever.
Yeah.
There was one like UK guy I remember that went over there and like advanced up the ranks super quick by like killing.
And he got taken out.
He got taken
out. Yeah. With a missile strike, they went and took him out. One thing I thought was crazy, like there was this one dude, he sold his truck like out of Texas, and next thing you know, it showed up in the hands of ISIS. And the logo was all over the side, and I'm just like, how the fuck did this truck end up in ISIS?
Dude, I watched
what the ISIS,
bro. A couple years ago, I watched a doc where it was just like parents that were talking about their kids, straight up their kids that just joined ISIS, and they're like, I don't even know where this came from. You know what I mean? They're like, I had no idea that my kid like even liked shit like this, and it shows like their emails and shit. They're just on there writing some random dude from like Iraq and Iran who's like, hey, come over here, bro. You know, we got bitches, we got guns and shit, and they hop on a plane from like the UK or like New Jersey,
bitches and guns,
and they go over there and like to some random ass people.
Same thing. They did this one interview where they interviewed the girl's friend who ended up leaving and going to join ISIS. And like she's talking, she's like, nothing. Everything seemed fine. She wore her job for a week out of nowhere and then dipped. So it was just like, what the fucking shit?
Wow.
And then they were using the PlayStation Network to try and recruit people on PS4 and shit. That was another big thing a while ago, bro. I'm just like, what are they on? They're just in a Call of Duty lobby, just like, hey, you want to do this in real life?
Advertisement.
You want to do this in real life?
For some reason, it makes me think about some other thing. But I was like, you know, like
the scariest thing about having a kid, right, is like the fact of like you feel like if you fail your kid, right? Like I don't know how you feel about it, but like for me, it's like I'm thinking about this because of them people that won over to ISIS. You
Right,
know,
right,
like
right.
you would never think your kid would do that. You know, you try and raise your kid right. You think you do the right things. You try to, but like
I
nobody knows how to parent perfect, right?
I would like to think that that person is thinking about what they're doing to their kid. I don't think that's the case.
What do you mean?
I think with some people, I mean, like, like especially in these instances, it's just like I'm gonna go give them a son, pretty much. I'm gonna give them daughters and sons. I'm gonna fuel their army type of shit or whatever. I don't fucking know, but I don't think that like even if, or if they had or if they were pregnant. I think when you do something like that, you're not thinking about your child or future child. You're just thinking about yourself. You know, or maybe you might think
No,
that
I'm
is a kid.
saying the parent of that
Oh,
person.
the parent of that person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I
gotcha.
mean. Like if your kid did that, you're like you try and like parenting is not a perfect process, right? You're trying like
Yeah,
nobody knows how to do
yeah,
it perfect because not everybody's the same, right?
yeah,
So you're trying to decide like when you're supposed to push and when you're supposed to pull.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
pretty much seems to be what it is, right? It's like you're trying to decide like should I stand for something on my kid here, or is this a time where that's a kid? I gotta
yeah,
let him do this,
yeah.
right? And you try and do it to the best of your abilities, and your kid becomes a serial killer. Or
Yep.
your kid, ends up stealing their car and killing them, or a child molester, or something. It's just like,
Or that guy with pig tit cups.
yeah, yeah, on the lower end. But like, you don't know really what you did wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
can't really pinpoint a
you
factor.
never
It's like,
know. Yeah,
was that kid always like that, or is that something you did? That's what makes me so scared to have a child. Well, that's not to say it like that, but like that's the scariest thing to me about having a child. Is
yeah.
feeling like worrying about who I know about my personality traits, and just like would I push too hard sometimes? Do you push them away? Or would I be too lenient sometimes when I should have been stricter, or too strict when I should have been lenient?
I mean, if everybody knew this,
I know,
there'd be
I
perfect
know,
kids
I
running around
know, I
everywhere,
know.
man.
But the thing is, I don't want a perfect kid, right? You just don't want a kid who's like a
It'd be
burnout.
your ideal kid running around. If this
I
was the
don't need
case for,
my ideal
if,
kid.
but that's what I'm
Don't
saying.
even gotta be
If
my ideal kid.
everyone,
Just don't be a murderer.
if everyone knew this, if everyone knew the recipe, I mean, I think sometimes there's outside factors that at the end of the day your kid can explore and will explore if they choose to. I mean, at the end of the day, we're
What do
also talking about
Is that just
a brain who has a pod of its own self, and some
right?
people realize that a lot sooner than others. That
What,
they're way more control than
what's your number one fear
no more fear
of
as
having
far
a
as of
child?
having a child.
You know,
Besides having the child, period, like just everything about it.
raising a child.
Raising
a child.
I mean, raising him. I mean, every facet. Like I want to, I think about him as like, will I be the best teacher for him? Do I even have the best moral character to even teach this fucking child the right way? You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that's every little thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like you only know what you think is right, and that's only what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like you may think you need to push the kid hard. I may be like, look, let him do the work, back off a little bit. And that may work for some, it may not work for others. You know what I'm saying? There's like, there's no single mold for any of this shit. And that's the thing. When you partake in something like this, it's just like you're creating something custom from scratch with with not just your
Well,
hands and actions, but your minds, your responses,
with
your
that,
answers, everything.
and with that, I know like people might not like that I say it, but like a big fear of mine is like not having a healthy child.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it really is. Like
Odds are always there.
and people might not like it, but like even like a mentally ill child,
Yeah.
I'm scared of that. Not because I'm scared of raising that child, but because I'm scared of the life they may have. I feel bad that I did that, to a child.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing.
Real.
And then that's just on one level. I mean, you can have a child, with one hand. And then you can have a stillborn, man. That stuff is scary, man. To think, I know you're not supposed to think like that, but like I do. I think about everything.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think about. Like that's scary, man. Like even a miscarriage. You know what I mean? A miscarriage is like fuck.
Like
Or-
that, it just does something.
Or in like an opposite of like a healthier side, you get more than you bargained for. You planted triplets in this bitch,
Yeah,
and now you got 3 kids
That's crazy.
all at once. I'm just like, man. And I mean, like, yeah, that may not be as scary as a mental defect or a deformity of any sort that could affect a child's life, but that the unknown of what can happen from that moment of inception, and that there's no control over that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no control over what happens through the developing process for this child until it is born, either healthy or not.
And then, I mean, on the level next to that, I mean, I know, like, like I trust, you trust your girlfriend, to have a child, of course,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, like I have a fear of not being in control. So it's weird that I'm not having the child, because like if I would have it, I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm only drink water, you know what I mean? Like shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't control that.
Yeah.
It's just I have no control over how this baby really is forming.
Yeah.
It's scary too. Even though I believe she would do the right thing, it's still scary. You're just like, I think you should sleep on your side.
I'm the same way, man. And it's like I'm the same way where it's just like there's a lot of things where it's like I particularly think like I'll do them myself because I either think, know, or feel that I'll do it better or get it done quicker or whatever the case may be. That's just how I feel about myself. I mean, I feel like most people feel that about themselves.
Not everyone, but yes.
But I don't think it would stop with something like that. Like what you're saying, we're just like, oh, well, if I was pregnant, it's just like I'd be sure I'd be exercising.
Right. You're
and
just like
stuff,
hot fries?
and,
Hot fries? You think he wants to eat that?
just like, you want Hot Pockets right now?
Right.
Let alone 3 of them? Like you're demanding specifically 3. I don't understand
the sodium content you just took? He's probably there. Yeah, I bet he is kicking.
Shit like that. Exactly, man. Just, I mean, I don't want to sit there and be like, I will prepare the child better than a woman.
I'm having a home birth underwater.
But it's also battling that mentality of like like that was like being out of control, not being directly in control. Man, that is tough. That's tough for a lot of people.
Like, I don't mind crashing in life, but I want to be behind the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I want. If I crash, I like to say, "Hey, I fucked up, dude. I skidded out. Yeah, I was sliding. I hit him. I don't want to be in the passenger seat and die.
Exactly.
I'm just like, if I was driving, I would have reacted to that.
I would have tapped my brakes.
Exactly, man.
And I would have 360 maneuvered onto the side.
into a straight J reverse, and we're parallel parked this
Another one would have already been
simultaneously. Well, I already identified him as a threat and moved lanes directly out of his way, so we never got an accident.
But
I never had to maneuver. I never had to maneuver to begin with. Okay, we never maneuvered because I identified the threat and got out of his way.
In all honesty, you never know what you would do when you're tasked with the situation, right? It's the same thing with games, right? Where you're just like, oh my God, I would have literally looked right, dropped that guy right on the left side. I would have had a syntax on him. But in a time, you don't know if you would have did that.
And that's one thing. Like when I sit next to someone and I hear someone and they're sitting there just like, yeah, I would have fucked that guy up, man. Like if he was in my face any bit closer, I would fucking stole his ass. Like I hate people like that.
I hate, right? I hate that. But we all have that memory of.
Like, you still have that memory of that time when like someone bullied you and you're just like, I should have been like, like you still think about that, right?
Yeah,
or like that day when you went home, you're just like looking in the mirror, you're just like, next time he does that shit, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna fuck him up if he ever spits in my face again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I've just never felt. I mean, I've never been that person that's be like, just like, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do whatever hypothetically. Just like
no, but there is some that makes sense to you too, though, right? Where you're just like, yeah, I would have definitely made that shot. Like you really do know, like, yeah, that was a simple shot.
Yeah, of course, there were some of them. It was like, I would have burned that.
Yeah, what the fuck? I would have pearled
that. Like, I wouldn't jump the curb. I just wouldn't. It's like,
I would have my
like this, like
I know I wouldn't do that.
I was built for this, okay? Like for not doing this particular thing. I know that. Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I guess it's not the how most people think, but I've always felt like that's the way it is. Like most people think they'll do it better.
Yeah.
You know, that they will do it better. But I know I will get done things most of the time
Well,
done better.
I'm
But I
just,
can also, I'm also a person that can concede some things and be like, yeah, you should probably do this because you're better at that.
that's what you have to be, right?
You
And
know?
that's how I was thinking, because I'm thinking like, well, I know people that would personally say, I should probably do this than them.
You
You know
know?
what I mean? And I also know the same thing about myself. So I was saying, like, not everybody thinks like that. You
Yeah.
know, I think some people know, like, all right, I got you want a 360 dunk. I'm not your man.
I'm sitting there, like, I remember, like, there was, I forgot what book it was, but it was like things to know in case of daily emergencies or something. It was something like that, like a life hack book, or like just to show you how to do things in the world that can have real life, you know, purpose. It was like how to do a tracheotomy with a plastic straw.
That's
I was like, oh, maybe he should do that. I know I'm not steady for that shit. You should do the tracheotomy.
The thing is, I don't know if I appreciate it or if I think it's crazy. The fact that, like, what if it was like that guy, right? That's like Foley height, right? And it's just like somebody's like, for $100,000, you can choose anyone you want to do a 360 dunk. And he's just like, me. You know what I mean? I don't know if I should hate that or appreciate it. I was like, wow. You really think about him? Yeah, I better be.
And the guy that said that, the guy that couldn't do it said he could do it, said it way more convincingly than the guy that actually could do it.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I probably could do it.
Yeah, I'll get it done for you.
And the whole time, this little guy's just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Another guy that guy's like, oh yeah, that man.
It's funny because I was just. It's funny because I was just telling you I better have my hand on the steering wheel. But like all of a sudden, I'm ready to give it away. You know what I mean? For $100,000 of mine, you try this.
You talk that, bro. It's like I might want to give this one to Ken Block. You know, I'm just saying. You know, what I'm saying. To donate this bitch out of this figure 8 and tap the bottom off the edge of the curve. Like,
that's gotta be immense
Ken
pressure.
Block.
I always wanted to have a chance, but that's gotta be immense pressure. Like, say you're at like a basketball game, you get chosen for the half court shot.
Yeah,
$15,000 if you hit it.
Bro, I always say in my head, I'll bang that.
I'll bang.
Yeah, send it.
I love them.
Yeah, hold exactly. I knew I always did, bro, because I knew a guy who shot like that at the 3 line,
a couple
bro.
people that
You know?
like that.
Like, from the 3 line, just like. And the thing is, when they land their jumper, they're always just like, because everyone holds a shooting hand up every once in a while, but they hold both up, but they're like.
Trying to guide it. You know when you try and guide it, or you're like,
oh yeah,
you're shooting, and you're like,
bro. The best feeling is when you shoot it and you feel it, you're just like, that's going in.
It's funny, listen, yeah, but it's funny because in your head, you're really just looking at it from a different angle. And I mean, it helps your conscience when you shoot, and it's like it's going right.
This is where I shot from.
Shit looked close to me. Now it looks on. All of a sudden.
Oh my god, man! No,
I was thinking about that the other day. Or today,
Dry,
I
man.
was pouring some coffee, and I'm like, how come every time you pour someone, you go like this with your head? Yeah, I mean, you never stand up and just pour something. I was like. You gotta like watch it from the side angle. You know what I mean? Like I'm at my angle right here. I can actually see it.
See that? Like I never thought about it. I'm gonna have to think about it next time I pour
I'm
some.
telling you, bro.
I'm gonna do it and just be like,
every time I do it, I'm like,
shit.
that's a Raven moment.
Oh shit! I did it. It's subconsciously, exactly, man. I'm just like, it's
Oh shit! Look
at that! I fucking did it, man. I did it subconsciously. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of things that, like, growing up, I thought that, like, only I did. Like, I mean, everyone has those things, though. You know what I'm saying? It's weird that all people do them, though.
So many similar things.
It's weird that a lot. I'm just like, man, the brain works. The brain's so similar,
bro.
man.
There was
like
a couple that hit me, yo.
Like the water runs on your fingers. Like, oh, you know, I'm just like, bro, like
That
everyone.
is-
That's a common thing.
Bro, for me, one that really hit me.
Everyone.
Like, on a personal level, when it was like, was it just me or did all of y'all had that friend who drove a bike next to you when you drove a car? It was something like that, right? And that hit so personal because when I was a kid, like I used to always look out the window and I would pretend someone was on a dirt bike, like doing crazy stunts on
like on my side. Like, oh, he hops up on the side of the bridge, he's grinds this, backflips out of that, rides at the poles. And like, I would always imagine having car rides, bro. I was like, fuck, everyone was doing it. Everybody was imagining shit. Like,
I always just imagined like a man just like doing like crazy like parkour stunts.
Yeah,
exactly. Like Superman style, just like everyone has, yeah. It's weird that like, like I said, man, the brain works. I mean, like most people would sit and be like, I don't have crazy thoughts, but everyone's had a thought where it's like, I could really just yank to turn the steering wheel, drive into a wall. But you don't. It's like everyone has those thoughts.
Once I started having those thoughts, I started worrying more on the road because I'm like, other people are having these thoughts. Someone one day might just yank. I talked to you before, but it's so scary to like these two lines separate us. I mean, I'm going 80 miles an hour this way. You're going 80 miles an hour this way. And we both just agree not to cross this line. If you just come over that line, I'm dead. It's over.
Isn't it weird that like I want to say like most healthy people will do it? They'll just like sit there and be like, I could kill myself right now. And it's like you're just like, and you just walk off. It's just normal. It's like you look off the side of a bridge. Like, I could just kill myself.
I used to be so weird as a kid, man. As a kid, I was a weird kid. Like when I got into self-isolation, I would do weird shit.
Everyone does it, man.
I remember before, yeah, exactly. Everybody does, But I remember like one of them was like when I got into the bathtub, I would always I would be like, see if you can drown yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and because I knew like I would always come up, right? And I was like, pussy. I didn't want to die.
See, everyone was doing that, but everyone was doing it, but it was more like, how long my breath?
Oh, dude.
That was the normal version of that.
When I was a kid, man, I used to want to be a Navy SEAL so bad. I'm not sure if I was telling you before, but I used to do crazy shit, bro. Like, I remember I put a bunch of bricks in my book bag, and I would go for jogs. And like, the whole time these bricks would just be fucking my back up, bro. I still think that's why I have back problems to this day. Like I would go on like 5-mile jogs with bricks on my book bag, and they would just be like hitting me at the corner and shit in my back, And I'm like, "That's what you got to do to be a Navy SEAL." I used to go home, dog. I would literally, dude, I would fill up all the fucking freeze, the ice cube trays, like 4 of them, bro. Put the coldest water in the bathtub. I'd put all the ice cubes in there, and I was like, "You're gonna sit in here for 60 minutes." I would do like crazy shit like that, bro. Like this is what you have to do, be a Navy SEAL. I gotta be able to hold your breath for 60 seconds.
It's funny because like when you were younger, you always had a buzz cut too. That just made you always look more like it.
You're like man for like 5 years straight.
You're more like you look more the part, bro. You know what I'm saying? I never took it that seriously, but like I always thought the same thing. Where just like, I should have said really thought I was gonna be a military, but I was like, always thought it was cool though.
It's cool, right?
Like, as a kid. You get a gun, you look in the corner.
I got a gun.
You look in the corner, right? You're just like,
when you be in your house, you don't even need a gun, bro. You'd be in your house and you would just pretend like if someone broke in. Yeah, you just be like, get the fuck out.
Now, you know what I always do? I always do the cross with the flashlight. Be like,
have you seen it one time in Resident Evil?
Always that. The worst thing I did, bro, when I was younger, I used to always play with the caulk gun, bro, because I would take a bunch of empty caulks, I would save them. I had like 3 of them. And I would keep one in there, and I'll put it all the way at the end, stick you have at the end, and you keep pressing it.
Yeah.
And when you're spent, you pull it back out. You're just like,
another
one in.
I'll tell you the sickest thing
Where's the caulk gun, Steve?
Is I always just remember everybody like in my family, they would always just take like pills for anything. That's what my family always did. So when I was a kid, I used to take sweet tarts, and I would dissolve it in water and like pretend it was like Advil. Like I didn't have a headache or nothing, but like I would sit next to this dissolving sweet tart, and I would be like I had a long day, and I would drink this shit and like act like it would help me. It was so weird, bro.
Bro, same thing with candy cigarettes, man. I did the same thing.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Or like the candy cigars or whatever, or pretzel sticks. You're just like, I'd sit back and be like,
bro. Tell me the best ones weren't the ones that really blew smoke, though.
Yeah. Right. You see, always get to be like,
You seen it?
Well, I'll be alone, just be like, oh, God.
You go out in public.
Got some apple juice.
You go out in public and you like, You blow it to everybody, then you go inside, you unwrap it, and eat the gum.
Bro, even when it was cold out, bro, the candy gum cigars
That
were
was
just
good.
snack,
Yeah.
bro.
The cigar ones,
Like,
yeah.
and-
The
and at
cigarette
one
ones
point,
weren't that good. They were just bubble gum.
they were just
basically.
chalky,
Yeah.
chalky a
But
little
they were
bit
still
too.
gum.
Yeah, but the cigar ones, like the green and
They were
pink
good,
ones, man,
yeah.
they were good, bro.
Very
It was
good.
so much gum, dude. You're just like, man.
Yeah, it was
I
good
love
as shit too. The fruit gum, the zoo gum.
Yeah,
Yeah, where I used to come with tattoos.
bro.
Remember you could do tattoos on yourself, bro? That's crazy. How it used to be a big thing when we were kids. It's really not no more.
Yeah, I mean the fruit roll ups still do it.
Yeah, the fruit
No,
rolls still do it.
what
But
are
you
you
know, like
talking-
everything.
what are you
But
talking,
even
man?
like in 50-cent machines, we'd always buy tattoos and shit, get it on you and shit. I was talking to Kay about when I was a kid, like
Oh, yeah,
people
that's
in
right.
the people in the neighborhood, right, would they would like leave like their hoses connected on inside and like let us come up and like drink from their hose like during the summer and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing no more.
No, you
It
don't drink.
just
You
hit
don't
me.
drink from the hose
You don't
anymore.
do that. You
No.
don't go up to people's houses like that no more.
No.
But when I was a kid, it was like anybody's house. They never had a problem. I never got in one trouble. I'd go to any. Oh, we're dying of thirst. We go up to somebody's water, take a drink, turn it off, dip.
I always did it,
There
man.
was never a problem, bro.
Yeah. I remember once or twice someone yelling at me for it. But that's because I was like fully in their backyard. It's just,
Never
you
had a
know, but
problem.
I've had problems with
I've
it.
seen people come
Just
out and
'cause-
like, oh, you get a drink of water.
Just because
Yeah.
I hopped in your backyard. You know, and I'm drinking. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know what you're talking about.
But
I
like
get
the
it,
ones
but,
in the
like,
front of
back
the
then,
house,
it's
I've never had a problem with that, bro. Front of the house, no
never
big deal.
cared.
You know, and I remember my house was one of those houses. I always had a house up front, and I would just like come up and be like, "Yo, you want some water?" Just like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And just
It's
go run
funny how
around,
I've seen
man.
the good side of people like that, and I've seen the bad side of people like that. Like people that are just like over generous, you know, where it's like, oh yeah, jump my fence, come get some water.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who are like, I don't know, ever tell you the story where a stranger chased me. I think I told you.
I mean, there's been a couple of them.
But there was one that really like was horrible to me, right? Where like, let's sum it up as quick as I can. Basically, I'm leaving the Smith boys. We went swimming, and I got no shoes on, bro. I'm just walking home, so I'm soaking wet. And I lived on Gus Ryan. They lived on Anglesey. It's like 6-7 blocks. And
Yeah.
I'm walking as I'm going by, like this junkie's on top of this roof over here, and he's got this big afro, and he looks over at me and he's like, Mike, and I look at him, I'm like. You know, and he didn't say Mike. He didn't say Mike. Sorry, he said Tyler. That's what
Ah.
he said. He was like, Tyler. And I looked over and he was like, Tyler. And I just looked over at him and I was like, I'm not Tyler. So I didn't even say nothing to him.
Yeah.
I just kept walking. He was like, Tyler. And I look over and he starts sliding down this ladder, like on some movie shit, bro. And he starts coming over to me. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, I'm not Tyler. And he keeps coming up saying Tyler after I said that, bro. So I just take off and I drop my shoes. Like I lost my shoes that day. I was so scared. Drop my shoes and I take off. I'm running down like the middle of Joseph basically to get the Gus Ryan. And this junkie is fast, bro. He's literally like, he's on the so I'm running right here on the sidewalk. There's cars, and then he's on the other side of the cars. So we're running like this, and I see he's catching up to me. I'm like, oh my God, bro. So I'm dying on the inside. I'm so scared, yo. I'm running. This guy cuts through a car. So when he cuts through a car, he's about to get me. So I cut around a car, and now we're going kind of zigzagging on cars. At this point, I realize he's about to catch me, and I'm right at my alley, right before my street.
Mhm.
So I'm running down the alley. It really was a dumbass move, but thank God 2 people were in the alley, and they're looking at houses. It looked like they were like talking about houses or something,
Mhm.
and they're holding hands. And I come running up. This guy's still right behind me. He stops right at the alley. And I come out to these guys. I'm like, this guy is chasing me. This guy right here is chasing me. I'm like, I don't know him. He's trying to take me. I do not know him. And these people look at me, bro. Never say one word to me, Steven. Like a horror movie, bro. Never say one word. They look at me. They look at the guy. They look at me. They go back to looking at the house, bro. And I'm like, this guy is trying to take me. So he's at the end of the alley.
Yeah.
He starts running back at me once he realized they're not doing nothing. So I run down the other side of the alley. I was able to get to my front and my mom ended up calling the cops and shit.
Right, yeah.
Like, this is 100% a true story. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this ain't a dream. Like, the cops
Yeah.
came, you know what I mean? Like, and I always remember those 2 people. And I don't know why they wouldn't help me, bro. I'm like 10. If a 10-year-old kid's running me like this guy's chasing me, I'll fuck that dude up if he came in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy don't know you, bro.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would
exactly. Yeah.
At least
yeah.
ask some questions.
Exactly,
They
you know?
didn't say nothing. Like
And
a
went back to-
horror movie, Steven. Like a horror movie, you know? Where like people don't even
More like a
pay
dream. Like
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like where people ain't even paying attention to you. I'm just Oh my god!
And it was
yo.
right back to it, man.
And
That's
I'm right
some
back to
shit,
running,
bro.
I hit the corner and I was able to get to my house.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Literally, bro. I wasn't even thinking about saying nothing. I had that.
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
I'm thinking about this guy's gonna rape me, bro.
See,
That's how I was thinking.
See, not as close, or even like I didn't even get like real confirmation like that because I didn't stick around for it. But I remember I used to always cut behind the school by the portables. I always go to Brian's house right there on Toner Street. So I cut through. I remember there's one time I cut through. It's a weekend, so there's a car back there. I'm just like, all right, weird. So instead of walking straight through like that, like empty part, like, and then like I take the right and I go along the portable way to the stairs, right? And so I go along there and I start walking and I wait a little bit and I see the car move and pull up at the end of the stairs right there, like for some reason. And that's all I had to see. I remember I was taking off so fucking quick. I was just like,
As soon as he did that,
adrenaline. It was just like, I didn't want to stick around and find out. I was just like, he's doing something funny. I'm gone. So, I mean, like the running, I remember like that was the fastest I ever felt like I ever ran. I'm sure you felt the same way. We were just like, that's the fastest you ever felt like you ran.
And I had my shoes off.
Exactly.
So I felt like a deer, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this guy was still beating me, yo.
Were your feet shredded? Were they fucked up?
Yeah,
You're good?
bro. Yeah, bro. I was fucked
So you were
up.
cutting, you were just like,
And I lost my shoes, yo. I never went back to my shoes. I was so scared, man. I was so scared.
yeah. I remember it was I don't remember. I remember there was one time like I froze up in like pure fear. It was one particular instance.
That's
I remember.
the worst.
Yeah. I was probably like 11, maybe 10, 12, something. I just got like a new bike, new 2-wheeler. It was a mongoose, some pegs on it. Had the flame tires, bro. This shit was tight. It's mongoose. It's a mongoose, bro.
Tires.
The tires like the tire tread pattern. They were fire or flames.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, I was like, bro, this is a sick ass street bike.
You
I'm
drove
gonna
down the hill when you took that out the house, didn't you?
I'm gonna say,
You drove
oh
down
yeah,
the
bro.
front hill,
I went down some stairs on that, man. I was like, this is a street bike, bro. It's
Mongoose.
a BMX
Everybody wanted a
trick
mongoose,
bike.
bro.
I'm a fucking handlebar. That's
Pegs?
what I'm saying, bro.
Pegs?
Mongoose was nice. So I remember, I was down there riding it with Tyler by his house. We were all just chilling. We're riding. Next thing you know, 40 or 50 people hit the corner, all riding bikes. They're all riding bikes. Just like, hey, yo, what's up? Who wants to go ride? Next thing I know, I'm getting back from my bike from this grown ass man. He's just
No
he's
way.
like, get off the bike. I'm just like, what? I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, oh, like, next thing you know, he pushes me off the bike.
Oh my god, I've never heard this.
And takes the bike out from under me. I'm sitting on the curb. I'm sitting there. I'm watching my bike roll away. I'm just like, until they hit the corner, I'm just like, my bike, just like, and I was like, I'd never felt more frozen. A grown man, grown ass man,
30,
maybe like 25. You know what I'm saying? But it was a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like way too big to be pushing me off my bike.
you.
Yeah, push me off
And
my
you
bike.
never got up
Yeah.
until they left.
No, it was like, just put me to the ground. I'm just like. It was like my first ever time getting
The
robbed.
Jeff Fincher.
First time ever getting robbed, bro. Exactly. I'm just saying, it was like. Plus, it was like 50 people that are all grown men, or older people.
50, that's a real number.
Yeah, it was a lot, man.
That's
lot.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking
Yeah,
people.
yeah, bro.
So
A
what? He
lot.
was on someone's page
It
or
was a lot.
something? He hopped off and just took your shit?
Yeah. It was like, next thing I
I
know,
hope he died.
next thing I know, there's got the grown man in my face asking for my bike.
Is it
He
fair
could have had
to
his own
say-
bike. I don't know.
Is it fair to say you hope that guy died?
Yeah, because I'm just
He's
now,
just such a bad
Because
person.
now I think about how fucked it is to really just take it from that kid. You know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it for myself. I'm
You
just
would
like,
never do that.
I'm sitting. I'm just like, I'm not really angry at the guy, so maybe not.
I'm saying it's easier when they pop your lock out front and steal your bike. You know what I mean? When someone comes up and pushes you off your bike and you watch them drive
I
away.
had some bad luck with bikes, man. I remember I had a Huffy. It was like an orange Huffy. It was cool. It was a Huffy though. It gets around though.
Oh, Huffy's great.
Yeah,
What are you
I
talking
pulled up.
about,
I
Poochie
pulled up,
bitch?
but I got
With
a
the
mongoose.
mongoose,
I got a
mean, those
mongoose
Huffy-
eventually with pegs and some tires, some flame tires,
A
bro.
Huffy reminds me of like Danny Way.
I always used to think of like
A
Hillary.
mongoose, like,
I used to always think of Hillary Duff for some reason, just because Duff Huffy. I was just like
Okay,
Duff,
fair enough.
whatever. Anyway, I remember one time I pulled up, I left my bike. I remember I think this one might have had pegs because I leaned it on the curb and it would stand up because of the pegs. Because it was in the street but on the curb. I was like, I'm gonna go get a drink. I just pulled it up real quick, set it off, go inside.
No.
2 seconds come out and the bike's gone, bro. I'm just like,
Again?
I'm just like,
Was this before or after the mongoose?
this is before the mongoose. Yeah. this is
Okay,
before the
so
mongoose, yeah.
so
This,
after
this
so when
was
you got pushing the mongoose, you're just like again.
yeah. Well, I mean, like this was the first time where I was like,
How many bikes have you
I
been stolen?
think that was like the only two, maybe three bikes in my lifetime. That was the only one I was actually taken off my bike though. All the other
Right,
ones
right.
are just like all the other ones I don't think count because like your bike was there, Dan was not. This one was like
I've been hurt not that many times, but there was one time I've been hurt. I got good use out of it, so I don't want to cry.
yeah.
But it was when electric scooters first came out, the Razors electric
yeah,
scooter, bro, and
yeah.
it used to go like 20. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I remember I had that bitch. Daryl had the little fucking street bike thing. You know, we used to just go banging around and shit. I love that thing. Bro.
Yeah.
Used to always keep it charged up. Always go out, and I would always just leave it on my front porch whenever I went inside to eat, and I would come right outside and get it. And Joseph Lee was a good neighborhood, so like it for like a year I did that. So I got good riding out of it. I ain't gonna cry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
The battery was starting to get less and less.
Yeah.
You know? It was time. But I go in to eat one day. I come outside. I used to always keep it up on its kickstand. You know what I mean? Out front, it's not there. You know? It's like I remember, like I was literally looking at bushes and shit.
cruelty,
Like you just don't believe
Yep.
it. You know what I mean? I look over all the boards. I'm just like.
Last thing I remember, like with the mongoose story in particular, like I remember like the cop came and I rode around with him. We were looking for. We were just looking around. He was just like, "Yeah, we'll run around. We'll look for it real quick."
Couldn't find a group of 50.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, but at this point, it was like an hour later. Hour or two later.
That was the worst thing when I got sideswiped. You know, when I got the hit and right. I'm just like, the guy's bumper's here that's telling you the year and the model, right? And you can't do anything for me. Like, you can't do anything on that. He's like, if the car was here, if the license plate was here, I'm like, if the license plate was here,
I'll find this motherfucker.
I'm telling you that literally his bumpers, I'm telling you the make and the model. You can't go out there and find who got front end damage within a 10-mile radius of here. Like, you can't send a P, whatever the fuck it's called, out to like automakers or auto shops, and tell them keep a lookout for a Toyota, some Tundra, whatever it was, 02.
No,
they can't.
Like,
that's crazy, bro.
No, they can't, bro.
Like, that's why I was getting a little smart with this guy. I had to apologize, I was getting smart with this company. I'm just like, I was like, okay, officer. I had to become me for a second, right? I was like, okay, officer. I was like, so let's say, right, nothing happens right now. Then tonight, my girl's car gets sideswiped, right? And then you don't do nothing. And then tomorrow, her car gets sideswiped again. How many times until you would do something? You know what I mean?
Is that them?
Yeah. I'm like, how many times till you would do something? He's like, well, and I can't just go out here looking around for cars. I'm like, you can't do nothing for me. You know what I mean? You're saying this could. I'm like, because I remember I had the K's window was smashed out right in the same spot, pretty much a little bit up the street. I'm like, they're obviously assaulting cars. People are assaulting cars on this driveway multiple times, and you're saying you can't do nothing. And it's like, he was a nice cop. Like, he was nice to me the whole time. He never got smart or nothing, but you could tell he was a lazy cop. Because I'm like, look, he's like, I'll go looking around. I'm like, you got to look down the alleys, bro. I'm like, people got parking spots around here. You know what I mean? Like, anybody could be in the back of their house. And he's like, well, I'll drive down the streets. I'm like, what does that do for me? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't do nothing for me.
I'll keep my eyes open,
Yeah. Like, I still had a problem with that afterwards, because after he left, I seen a car with like front end damage that was like perfectly similar to what happened to me. It wasn't the same car, but I was like, that bunker, that's just a foam bumper. I'm like, honestly, I don't even know what that came from. For all I know, this guy hit this car and then had that bumper in the back of his seat. You know what I mean? And threw it out the back.
So I have.
So I call back up. I'm like, hey, I think this guy might be involved. So he comes over. The guy comes out. He's like, what is this? He's like, you got a bumper for this? He's like, yeah, I got a new bumper inside. He goes inside, looks at it, comes outside. He's like, the guy showed me his bumper. He's got a brand new bumper for this. I'm like, what the fuck does that prove? I mean, it doesn't prove anything. He's got a new bumper. He could have, okay, so maybe his bumper's already bad. I don't know. I can't just say that means he's innocent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm like, it's literally the same exact damage that a car would have that if they did the damage to my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To my truck. It's crazy. I'm like, you can't do nothing?
I'm giving you so much evidence.
So I remember when I had my house broken into, my Xbox was stolen, and all my Xbox shit was stolen. I may have kind of an idea of who did it. And it's like, well, what proof you have? I'm just like, no, I know that they did this. You know, it's like,
He's always gonna rob me.
and then just like, you know, I'm just like, well, I mean, like, what, you know, what's gonna happen for me? He's just like, well, you know, we'll call you if we have any more. That was just about it. You know, just like my house was
crazy.
just broken into. Like my
Right.
air conditioner was kicked in my window. Like,
And things were stolen from my home.
yeah, it's just like,
What
I
about
can't
this
do
was
much for
your
you.
home, officer?
I can only write it down, man. That's about it.
Bro, how about me and you make a pact? We get our checks, right? Our Trump checks.
Okay, okay.
We go buy shotties.
I want to, bro.
You want to go buy
I want
shotties,
to, bro. Yo, shotguns are cheap.
I think if you came with me, I'll be way more inclined to buy one.
Shotguns are cheap, bro.
Let's go buy a shotty from Walmart or something.
Yeah, you probably get one for like $400 or $500.
Yeah, you know, a handgun, that'll be a whole process.
Yeah,
We can get a shotty right now.
you can. I think you can.
Why not have a shotty in your house?
You can even get like a little 10-round AR, I believe, without much of a problem.
I don't know about that. That'd be crazy if so.
From my
I
understanding,
just pictured shotties,
so-
200, 300 bucks.
so
have
from
shotguns.
my understanding, as far as Maryland law goes, the only one you need qualifications for or any type of permit to have are pistols or concealable weapons.
Huh. I guess I'm just thinking, like,
Or
you know what the second scariest thing to an intruder, the second scariest sound is to a bullet shot? Is a shotty cock, right? Where you're just like, you're upstairs,
Oh,
you know,
bro.
they're downstairs, you're just like,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
want-
know you're getting
yeah,
out. You're
yeah.
out of there. Even if you had a weapon, you would get out of there, right? It was like, I ain't getting into a midnight battle fight. I got some shit. I'm out of here. I mean, I stole his plasma.
I'll tell you what. One thing that made me think about recent was like I watched this John Wick scene where he had the shotgun, and he's like, you know, he's like flipping it upside down. He's just like he's loading up like 5 shells at once. So it's like, you know, he's like flipping it, and just like cocking it, and it's
Crazy.
like sliding. There's just sliding those shells in, bro. You know, it's so fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, that would be cool, man.
You wouldn't feel bad about killing an intruder, would you?
Oh no, man, not at all.
You blow his fucking head off. You got no problem with that, right?
I'm shooting, man.
You could
yeah,
live
I'm
there
shooting at him.
afterwards.
Yeah, I won't care.
Eventually you're moved, but you know, it don't bother you.
Nah,
right?
I clean it up. Well, I get it cleaned up, or I clean it up, whatever. I hope I don't have to clean it
It's
up.
crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
how we just. I see. That's the thing that just fascinates me. Just how quick we can sanction something. You know, he
Oh,
came
I-
into your home.
That's
so
the way
it's
I feel,
just
bro.
sanctioned.
You came into.
I feel the same way. I
You
feel the
brought
same way.
it to me, my friend, and I'm.
But like, if you say he's jiggling your doorknob, and you blow, would you shoot through the door?
I'm gonna start brandishing. You know,
Do you feel any way if you shoot through that door?
You know, where it's like you're just like you move the blinds or the curtains with your
You go
shotgun.
up to the door and you're just like, you try and get him like the sound through the door.
Nah, like I said, I would just want to just move the barrel with the blinds. You're just like,
All I'm saying is, that'd be cool.
you know, you just see the barrel on me.
Like when we answered the pizza delivery
Yeah,
guy.
and then
See,
and then you're like,
I've watched I guess I watched too many movies and played too much COD, bro. Because like someone's jiggling my door, I got my shotty. I go out the front window off of my my patio, you know, my back patio. I jump down. I got
Roll.
your back. I got
you're
your
gonna
back.
roll.
Boom! Just blow your shit away.
Yeah.
You didn't see that coming, bitch.
Yeah. That's why, like, I also want like a pistol, though, man. Like, I want a pistol so bad.
Yeah, I want a pistol.
It's because it feels good. You're just like, you know,
Yeah.
it feels good.
Oh.
Shotgun feels great. I would
But
like
you
a
buy
rifle.
we can sell a shotty.
I
We
want a
can sell our
submachine
shotties.
gun, bro. That's what I want. I want a little submachine gun. You know what I'm
Ideally,
saying?
we want more things, but I'm just saying, like me and you could go
We
to
can go get
Walmart
shotguns.
and get a shotgun.
Yeah.
Our dicks.
Yeah, we can go to Dick's. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
dicks
we should
and-
go. We should go, man.
Let's get a shotty. A couple
We-
shells.
And if you
And then
want
we
it,
can take it to the gun range.
well, if you want something else, I think you can go to private gun shows and have a little more freedom. That's all I'm saying.
I don't want an M1 Grant.
No, the private gun show.
I
like
can't buy a
shows, man?
pistol.
Yeah, but you could go and you can come out with AK if you want.
No way. That's crazy. It's so wild. That's so crazy. If I could go buy an AK right now, America's fucked up.
Bro, I'm telling you, private sellers are really
know
fucking sketch,
nothing
bro.
about guns.
You know, private gun shows are like really like because like I said, you'll pay a little bit more, but a lot of times, like I said, they don't have to follow the same rules because they're private sellers. You know,
But I
private
thought
sales.
that was for like single shot guns and shit.
See, I don't think so, man.
Because you ever seen that one video where the teenager goes and buys the gun? You ever see that? He's 16. He goes to a private auction. He bought a fucking rifle, bro.
yeah.
And but like every gun that they showed there was like single shot, bolt action, shit like that. I don't know if they got automatics.
A semi AK regardless. The semi AK. I don't think it'd fall under any different rule than it would like an AR-15. You know what I'm saying? Semi.
Just make a AK semi though. Can I?
Oh yeah, no,
Once I get it, couldn't I alter that?
Well, you would need to buy the parts and switch it out yourself. So I guess you could.
Illegal.
I guess you could. Yeah, I mean, people build their guns all day. I'm not sure if you can buy fully automatic parts though. I don't know.
You come up to you got a private gun center, right? You come out, there's an AK. You're just like, how much for an AK? And it's like $1,200, or something like that. And then you're like, I thought you couldn't sell automatic weapons. And he goes over to like the flip switch things. He takes it from auto to single. He's like, now I can.
Look, private sales, you also don't have to register your gun either with private gun sales.
I think you eventually do, bro.
You don't ever have to register. You don't have to register.
So
it's illegal to not do it.
I'm saying all these things out of being optimistic.
But listen,
I have no facts.
It's illegal to not do it, bro. But you don't have to. I mean, well, you do have to register it, but
you do have to register.
You do have to register it, but you don't have to register it. Private gun sales, doesn't require.
What are you doing here, Steve?
No, so at the point of sale,
you're trying to fight some.
There's no registration on it, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, you really don't have to. I go to a private gun and get a gun that the government isn't tracking.
You go there and the serial number scratched off. He's like, "I'll give you an AK for $100, but the serial number scratched off. Would you take it?" I do.
Test fire?
Gotta prove a murder.
Can you get test fire?
I think it's just more.
Can I get a test fire? I want to make sure it functions. For $100, bro, it might not function.
It's worth its weight in.
I feel like an AK with a body would be at least $500.
$50 in scrap.
You know. I'm just saying. I feel like
a launcher attachment. Don't mind if I do.
I just want to go to a private gun and see, bro. I think you could just go.
That's what M1 Grand with a bayonet.
Blow holes in people, bro. That's what you want to do. I just want to shoot in here. Bing.
No, I don't want to hear that gas sound.
That's a great sound.
No, I want to hear that. When you hear that 50 cal still traveling after you shot it, or it's like it just broke the sound barrier, bro. It's like, it sounds like a wave.
But you're for real about buying a shotgun with your
seriously. I'm gonna buy a gun, whatever the easiest one for me to get is.
Yeah, I'll look into it heavily, bro.
I will get a handgun.
I looked into it heavily, bro. Yeah. That's what I hate, bro.
I just would like for you to say, "Hey, I want to get a shotty too." Then we both just link up and go buy shotties.
Bro, I've been wanting to get a gun.
I feel weird going to buy a shotty myself.
I just want to get a gun.
Yeah.
Shotgun,
Shotgun's
handgun.
the easiest thing to get, bro.
You told me like, because they have hunting purposes.
We're sawing off. We're having short barrel 12 gauge.
Going for that Mossberg fucking pump. Benelli pump.
FMJ round.
That was saying, bro. Yeah. We still, oh man, see, that's the thing, bro. You can't do anything fun now. Like I said, let's go to a gun range, but you can't.
Eventually.
Because you got a gun range. They have shotguns.
The UFC can fight on May 9th.
They have shotguns.
They want to fight May 9th, so let's hope that happens.
I mean, they're talking about reopening May, so.
Let's let them fight.
It would have to be reopened then. If they're fighting, then we're reopened.
I should better sign a contract that says I will take the risk.
Yeah, but it's just different. If you have your own island, cool. But if you're in my country, I'm just like, nah, coronavirus.
Not if I go to Indian reservations.
Oh,
that's what he's doing.
That's very true. Is that what he's doing,
bro? That fight was gonna happen. You know that he had an Indian reservation. The pay-per-view.
What happened to Island?
That was for international fights. So that wasn't for this card.
But an Indian reservation casino thing.
For American fights. So the paper, you know what I mean? The pay-per-views in America. Yeah. So ESPN and Disney stepped in.
Do you think fights should really be happening, though?
Yeah. It seems like the one sport that actually could happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's one-on-one. You get what I'm saying? You could just have your judges, your
I think the logistics are what's the... everything surrounding logistics around it, and the people involved with those.
Yeah, getting people there and shit like that individually.
I mean, like that.
That's all hard, right?
Crew for a live filming crew, all that.
But it's the easiest sport to have if you are going to have any of the sports. It's
100%, 100%, 100%.
Everybody get tested.
I still think it's weird that WWE's still going on.
They stopped.
I think it's still weird.
They're done now.
I think it's weird that did you see the shit that happened with I'm not sure how long ago. The shit happened with Ronda recently. Ronda Rousey.
She stopped.
Well, no, she would because what they were saying was that apparently people and even pro wrestlers there were making the comparisons to UFC and what they do and whatnot, and she pretty much went off on this huge Twitter rant and was like, no, even as a wrestler, you have to understand the privileged position to sit there and say that you are fighting, the way you're fighting and what you're doing is fake and for entertainment purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like what we do, like it's nothing compared to what we do in the UFC ring. You know what I'm saying? It's all fake and staged. Like, yeah, you're an athlete,
Right.
but you're not a fighter.
Right.
You're not a real wrestler,
I watched the Ronda Rousey documentary. Just came out. Pretty good. I thought it was a little weird how they can go through the tape, right? And they can show you 9 first-round finishes of Ronda Rousey, but they can't show you the KO loss, right? When it gets to that part, they just do, like, pictures. And they show, like, Rousey was KO'd in the first round. Huge upset by whom,
It's quick.
I thought that was a little bit corny. For me, I like to think about how Wonder Boy did it, Like, you sent me the video.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, this is where I got caught. He don't like it.
Yeah.
He gets it. You know what I mean?
That's here comes.
That's amazing. People are like, oh, Rousey can come back and, she can win a title. Like, I don't think she can because right here, you know what I mean? She's one of them sore losers. Like, she never learned from her losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She just always took them and, if you got knocked out by Holly Holm, right, and you think that you're going to
gold medalist, let alone.
And then you're going to go fight Amanda Nunes. You're smoking crack, bro. Amanda Nunes is 5 times as good as Holly Holmes. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy. Whoever was guiding her in those decisions was horrible. Regardless, she just doesn't have hands. Like, she never had hands, bro.
Yeah, I would explain her big move to the WWE because, she could.
She know.
Well, that and like it also seems like she could take scripted losses because she didn't really lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't go out and lose. You weren't bested by somebody. It was in the script.
There was a funny part though, right? Because out of everything, like, she still is a great competitor. She
Great
still
fighter.
is a great fighter.
Yep.
She still is all those things, right? Her trainer, there was some famous trainers talking to him.
Yeah.
The guy that trained her. And the one trainer said, you're never going to have a fighter like her again. You're never going to train a fighter like her again. And the worst part about it is that you're young. And he said, like, he was thinking about it. He's like, it's real. Like, was Rousey the best woman fighter of all time? No, right? But the mindset she had, right, was like, I'm the fucking best. That right there is so hard to find, right? It's for somebody to always believe in herself. You get knocked out by Holly Holm and you think you're about to knock out Amanda Nunes, you believe in yourself. That's all that is. Because you shouldn't believe that. You shouldn't at all. You should be like, oh, that bitch knocked me out. This bitch definitely knocked me out.
Either that or could be some apparent head pumping because you're 9 big finishes and under.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, do you at some point?
Plenty of people though. She fought
at some point. Can you feel invincible? And that you know what I'm saying? Like, could that be the case? Possibly.
After the head kick, I hope
it's inflated.
Yeah.
She could have been super inflated at that point.
She's one of those stories of people that were supposed to win gold and never.
Her trainer would know. Her trainer would know.
How that works. With her, there was another lady that was just better than her. At the time she was going to the Olympics, she was in the Olympics at 16, and she went back at 20. She lost both of them.
Yeah.
To the gold medalists eventually won the same both, and she didn't go back again. She went to MMA, right? And I was thinking, like, is there a part of her that goes, I'm probably not going to beat this girl again, So am I going to spend another 4 years training for a silver medal again,
Yeah.
Is that really worth it? Which just was like, it makes me think, like, damn, it sucks when, like Daniel Cormier had the same thing, right? He's a gold level medal wrestler.
Yeah.
But there's just one guy who's gold, right? I forget the guy's name, like Chase Hermatch or some shit like that.
Right.
That was just better than Cormier, man. So he never got the gold. You know what I mean? It goes like that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, you're really fucking good, but there's somebody just a tad bit better.
Yeah, just read their next level above you.
There was a
ready to take your spot, man. Ready to take your spot.
8th grader in Pennsylvania just won a varsity wrestling tournament.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that's insane. He did not give up a point.
No,
he did not give up a point, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And just fucking took out, fucking wiped the floor with them, dude. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, wrestling is probably the least sexiest of all them martial arts, but it's one.
Same thing with that one girl who won the men's division for her state in her weight class. She beat all the boys.
exactly.
Yeah, just like that. It's
I
like
thought it was weird. That was the one thing I thought was weird with the Rousey documentary is they're showing her progression. They got her from the beginning, till she got knocked out. And they show her she's working on her BJJ, she's working on her striking, she's working on her judo. No one ever shows her working on her wrestling, right? So like she's great at judo, but she doesn't know how to do a takedown.
right.
So if she gets her hands on you, if she can bear hug you, then you're going down and you're getting armbarred.
Yeah.
But she didn't know how to get into there. So she thought she could box to get in there, but she's not that good of a boxer. Someone had to show her how to do takedowns, Because
Yeah.
if you do a takedown, you jump into someone's space.
Yeah.
I take your legs and then I shoot up from there, She didn't have that. Whenever she was going for a takedown, it'd be like this. You know what I mean? She would just grab you. And if she got you, she would get you down because she's a fucking gold medal gym, should be gold medalist.
Yeah.
But she never had takedowns. And I always thought that was weird. I'm like, anybody who's a BJJ black belt, I feel like, right? Say you're 25, you're a BJJ black belt, and you want to be MMA. I feel like you're better off trying to work on your wrestling than your striking. Because if you can figure out how to get in there, take them down, then you use your BJJ all day to tap people out. Top control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're striking and you can't do takedowns, then you're hoping someone tries to take you down, which they're not going to do. Because they know you're black level BJJ, they're going to strike with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have to be able to take a take.
And they probably also know that your striking sucks, or your wrestling sucks, or that your wrestling sucks.
Yeah.
That's I mean, come on.
When she's fighting, like in the beginning, she's like this. It's like you could just see when some people ain't comfortable, Like she wasn't comfortable.
Especially in that Holly fight, man. Like you saw something was extremely I remember after the first couple of times of her getting rocked and hit, you see her where just like
she's
it kind of
10 levels
broke down.
Holly striking.
Just broke
like 10
down.
levels.
Yeah, it just broke down, man.
The worst is their chicken legs.
The worst thing that she did was when she predicted her downfall. I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel, where she was like, she'll probably try and tire me out some strike with her boxing and striking, and then
catch me with left head kick.
Catch me from behind that left head kick with my guard down, and boom, took her ass down with that head kick.
Same exact thing. I do respect that sometimes, though. Like Justin Gaethje said that about Tony Ferguson.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm probably gonna come out and knock him out, but if I don't do that, he'll probably take me down, cut me out with some elbows, and tap me out with a Darce choke.
Yeah,
it's like, well, that's honesty. That's how we see it.
I heard a lot of people didn't want that the Gaethje Ferguson fight to go through at all.
Yeah, because
if it wasn't Khabib, if it wasn't Khabib, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like it's still a good match up.
Oh, it's a great match,
but.
It's the next title fight. Gaethje would be the next title fight.
Tony loses, that never happens, and then if Tony does win, I mean they still beat the shit out of each other. They won't be fighting for some time.
Made weight. Like that's crazy to me. He still made weight for a fight that wasn't even happening. He was 177 5 days ago. He's 155 now.
Yeah.
He got 22 pounds for no reason, just to show you can do it. Basically, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? That's why I think like he believes, right? No matter what, let's say he beat Khabib, right? The next fight would be Justin Gaethje, right? So he's looking at it like, I would beat Justin Gaethje now.
Yeah.
Then I'll beat Khabib. They're sending someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got to fight him anyway.
Exactly.
He looks at it like he's not going to lose.
Plus that and
he got paid.
He probably even knew.
Paid, bro.
He probably even knew that if the next fight wouldn't happen for something, probably even another year. So he would have been good every time,
I would think if he's not getting 400, 500 grand, he's getting robbed.
What, Ferguson?
Yeah, he should be getting 400, 500 grand, which is like for 100 grand, I'd fight Gaethje.
I mean, right? yeah.
10 grand.
Yeah.
10 grand. I'm like, knock me out.
See, it's funny because I always see Khabib videos, and like it always be a video that paints him in a good picture, but like it's always in another language and someone's translating it for me. I'm always just like, is that what he's really saying? Like,
Khabib's definitely a good dude.
That's always what he's saying.
He's a devout Muslim,
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah. There was one video I saw recently though, where like the actor was like, why you never wear the flag of Russia? And he just like he would just went on this like long rant. He was like, you do not need to like wear the flag to be a patriot. You don't. Like, you don't wear the flag of oppressors or something, or like, people who, punish their own people, or like, because I mean, Russia, like, I don't even think they even fuck with, this type of people,
Dagestan is actually like a remote like spot in Russia. Like, it's not like considered a real good spot like that.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's like it's
not honored by Russia or something.
I think it's the only Muslim province in all of Russia too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. That could make sense. That was funny with the. Did you see that they were showing the stats on China cell phone carriers? 22 million people went off of cell phone service in China since the virus has happened. Like that, like they can look at those, cell phones that are being transmitted. 22 million are missing, and they believe, bro, they're just killing people. Just anybody they believe that was in, contact with the virus, suspected of the virus, they're just burning them up, putting them in mass graves.
Huh. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
I
Well, how else can you explain 22 million?
I
That
don't
doesn't
know.
make sense.
I mean,
That's
I don't
a
know.
crazy number.
I mean, in an amount of 1 billion something people, it's not really that crazy. you know.
I don't even know where you bury all them people at.
China's
I feel
pretty
like
big.
that would fill up the Chesapeake Bay.
China's pretty big.
Like they would overflow.
These are also the same people who built a hospital in 10 days. So, it's
Just
like,
go out in the water and
you
drop
know,
them.
I mean, like, this is like the government's
That's
doing, like, they're like the
If
government
someone dies
built
in space, do you shoot 'em?
that hospital. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm sure the government would fucking find some way to build it and bring 2 million people.
What do you do with a dead body in space?
Just shoot it somewhere, make sure it never comes back.
Why? They have a family.
What do you-
They want to see their dead body. They want to bury them.
yeah, I get it. But I mean, like, if we're talking China, it's like, it's
I'm not
like,
talking about.
so what are you talking about just shooting people into space then? What are you
I'm talking about if someone dies in space, period.
Oh, yeah, they get brought home.
What if you're on a year tour?
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, you don't just leave a dead
They would
body. You
switch?
don't just leave a dead body up there for a year.
Does it decompose?
Probably won't. But I mean, oxygen.
They leash it to the outside.
It just fried.
And
They're
it doesn't
crisp
decompose.
with radiation.
That keeps it perfectly.
Just fried.
Keeps it cold. So his organs stay good. Then when he comes back,
The radiation will
resuscitate.
fry them.
What do you think about a do not resuscitate order
For astronauts? What do you mean?
for you?
For me? At this age?
You know what that is?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
This
die?
at
Yeah.
this age, though, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bring me back if you can.
What age are you done with it?
I think we talked about this last time. Like, probably like 70, 80, maybe.
Do not
You know?
resuscitate at 70?
Yeah. You know, like, I mean, it depends on what age, like,
Just
how.
made me think about it from The Office.
Because like,
They had a new boss show, and he's like, we're doing a point system, and if you get 5,000 points, I'm gonna tattoo on my ass, like just joking. They end up getting 5,000 points, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a baby, and a baby fucking coming out of his ass and shit. And they're gonna do an entire fucking picture, right? But like they were going around ideas,
right.
And then one that is like, do not resuscitate. And I was thinking about, like, what if you were an EMT and you came up to someone and, like, on their ass cheek it said, do not resuscitate. And you're just, like, questioning for a second, right? You're just like, is that official? Like,
it's like, well, if it is, you can get sued. If not, you can get sued. Either way, I'm getting sued. Better save your life.
Imagine coming up to a guy that's overdosed, you have Narcan, and you're just like, this is your third time, buddy. Rules say no. And you just watch a dude OD and die.
And then you take the time of death. You're just like, you got to do all that. You're just like, time of death, 803, heroin overdose. Initial cause of death, heroin overdose.
It's so brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, man.
Third time
man.
to strike? What do you do? Third time you still resuscitate?
That's tough, man. Because the reason they do it
is
just so they can pad their death numbers, from the shit,
What do you say? How many times? Is there many times?
Man, I don't think so. I don't know, man. Jesus
5
Christ!
times.
Like,
5th time you about to bring this bitch back to life.
5 times. Okay, I'm gonna say 5 times because like at this point it's like I think you want to die. You're obviously running from something.
They get mad, bro.
Yeah.
They get mad when you wasted their high.
Yeah, they're not high no more. Yeah. But I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you were never feeling it to begin with.
I remember this one dope fiend that was on there on the addiction show. I forget it. Intervention, and she's like, day I had my kid, right before I gave birth, I was in the bathroom banging dope in a fucking nightgown. I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You had kid on dope? You already got an epidural, and now you need dope still? Like, that's crazy.
Oh my god, man, that's what I'm saying.
You just had a dope baby.
I'll never understand, man. I'll never get it, man.
I wonder about all the things that affect you when you're in the canal. Like even Pepsi.
I
Like
say,
that probably does something to a baby.
oh yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because that's not natural. Like naturally, you would eat.
I mean,
meat,
like
eat
you
vegetables,
said,
drink water.
like you said earlier, like you know, like that baby's kicking because you just took in fucking 100 grams of sugar today.
Exactly.
You know, baby's hyperactive because you took 100 grams of sugar a day for your whole pregnancy. And, you know, that's why your kid's hyperactive. It's had caffeine in the system every day for the fucking development.
But they ain't trying to hear it. If anybody needs research on the subject, you come holler at Steven. He knows everything about birth canals. Thank
going
everybody
in.
for checking us out. Stay safe during the quarantine.
Masked
We
up.
love you. Like it, subscribe it. Appreciate you, Kendall Berriman.
Yeah, Kendall Barron from the
never
UK.
stop.
Holla at you, man. We love you, bro.
We're gonna Skype you one day, bro.